Welcome to Game Changer Weekly. John, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great tonight. We are going to be revealing who we're going to have for an interview next week. It's a huge name. We have a lot to review from last weekend. The Hammerstein video came out just recently, so there's so much to go over. I feel great. How are you doing tonight, man?
Same, yeah. Just got back from LA yesterday, and or not yesterday, 2 days ago. Felt like yesterday after the teaching. 2 days ago. So it was a fun trip, and yeah, there's a lot to talk about. Just with the shows alone this week. Whatever happened last week. Also, yeah, Hammerstein. That was a finally got the Hammerstein news and date and everything in the cool video. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about since our last episode for sure.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that Hammerstein video. I'm guessing most everyone who's had a chance to see it has seen it already, but I'll just go over it real quick. Everybody's still kind of rolling in here. Like I said, I like to wait till there's about 100 of us or so, and then we kick the show off. But yeah, the Hammerstein looks like it's going to be on January 19th of 2025. In this video, they're in a courtroom. You have Judge Cardona presiding. Jimmy is the prosecuting attorney. Scarlett Donovan's the bailiff, and you have Dave Prazak as the defense lawyer. Each wrestler is being charged. You can see first there's Effie, then Janela, Marcus Mathers, Blake Christian, Megan Bain, Pero, Tony Deppen, Violence is Forever, Mance Warner, Matt Tremont, Homicide, Grim Reaper, and Jordan Oliver, just in that opening scene. We're basically seeing who's going to be at the show, just individually. So you see that they all plead guilty. It cuts to Hammerstein, and a prison bus pulls up. More individuals are coming off the bus in prison jumpsuits. We get to see more of who's going to be there. Masha Slamovich, Cole Radrick, Ali Catch, Gringo Loco, John Wayne Murdoch, and Sidney Akeem is who we see in total. It lets you evoke a feeling for each wrestler when you see them individually. And at the end, they're standing in the Hammerstein. You see them all lined up exactly like everybody was in the first Hammerstein video. And I thought it looked really good. So I'm just going to say, personally, I thought they hit the nail on the head with the disappointment everyone had from the first one. And I'm just going to pass it over to you. What were your thoughts on that one?
I like the video. It was cool. I have one issue. Why the hell's Cardona the goddamn judge? He was just as guilty as everyone else involved in Hammerstein. But yeah, I liked it. I liked it, especially the end, the cool callback to the first time. This time, I was kind of hoping like we see like them break the chains. Like, hey, we had the chains on us last time. Let's break these chains and kind of like show them that wasn't our fault while we were guilty, kind of guilty by association. This time we're kind of do it on our own. But I love the video. I thought it was really good, and yeah, I'm excited for it. I like seeing the names. It was kind of cool seeing Jordan in there. So hopefully maybe he'll be back in time for it. And seeing some other names that weren't there the first time get an opportunity this time to show up in Hammerstein has me excited.
And before we go any further, hello, clown. Saying evening to everyone. We have Kev's Bootlegs also in here. It's Tuesday night. You know what that means. Reed Harris Cooper said, can't hear you. Let's just make sure our audience.
No, we're good. He said ignore him later on.
Up. Okay. Up. And then here we go. Our East Coast correspondent, Frank, guilty as charged callback was hilarious. That is where we're starting here. I'm going further down. I see Great One is here. The video was great. Not so much ticket prices. That's what I'm hearing from quite a few people.
I feel dumb as shit, Frank. You just like as soon as you said guilty as charged, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even realize that callback until just now.
I think it's great. There we are. Reed Harris Cooper. Hi all. All right. So we'll just get through that real quick. Now, when it comes to the new Hammerstein video, and then it goes into Hammerstein, what are your hopes going into this one versus the last one? Just in short.
It's okay. I'm about to have to watch what I say because I almost slipped up and said a name that came after me. I want it to stay authentic, GCW. I don't want them to bring in, I'm going to say it, fuck it, I don't care. Like, I don't want them to bring in the Bully Rays, the JBLs, the Jeff Jarrett's, hell, even, like, I mean, I understood Ruby Soho. That was that kind of Alley Catch's dream match, she said. So I didn't mind that, but I want to keep this GCW. Let's show the world what GCW is with our regulars, the people we use often. if we bring in a name, let's use them in the appropriate way, in a GCW way. I don't want names just for name value, unlike some of the names I already previously mentioned.
You're a purist, is what you're
I'm
saying.
gonna get attacked. I'm gonna get attacked again. Yeah,
No.
like I want that. If they're gonna rewrite history, they're gonna like, hey, like make this big deal, like that, acknowledging that the first show wasn't as good as expected for GCW regulars. Make this show for GCW regulars. Then who like you already had your fun. You did the pay-per-view. You had the big show, the sellout at Hammerstein. You got that. You got to have those bragging rights out of the way. At this time, I would make this as a makeup show for the fans, the hardcore fans that are going to show back up a second time, especially after the first time. And I guess the ticket prices are like, I'm hoping that we stay authentic to ourselves and show the world GCW how GCW is meant to be shown through, and not through the lenses of the bigger companies having a say in what happens in our shows.
I agree with that last sentence 100%, especially since this is the GCW show, not, hey, we're going to lend you talent and we tell you how that's going to go.
I want to see rolling commentary again. Like, actually, I have a lot of stuff on Hammerstein. I guess we'll be talking about. We have a couple months here to talk about, so we'll have a couple months to talk about Hammerstein. So, like, that's one thing too. Like, I want to stay authentic, like, but like from the first one, I really loved the constant, every match had new announcers or new color commentators and commentary team. So I wouldn't mind seeing that again, and kind of bringing in some of these names that we hear at some of these other places all the time. Start bring them in for the Hammerstein show and let do that again. I really enjoyed that part.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate because you know me, I like to do the business side of things. No. My biggest hope is no guests. That's a good one right there. Yeah, because he's saying GCW, those are our purists. Yep. And then on the other side, we have great ones saying, look, they're probably going to need a name to move some. They're going to need a Moxley to move some tickets. And, you know, I'm saying the story's just begun. Bully may be part of maybe 4 or 5 others that maybe come across and it becomes a conglomerate. It's very, very possible. It's possible we're collecting ECW originals just because it's a Hammerstein. Like, I don't know just yet, but I'm just saying, be patient. I do understand star power. I know people are going to kind of, crucify me over that. A big chunk
crucify you over that.
Hey, no. I'm just being fair.
Who got crucified for my opinion there.
That's true. But I see the upside of what he's doing and coming in for. I see the greater picture here. If it sells a couple extra tickets and it brings notoriety to the company, if it brings eyeballs to the company, if it brings revenue into the company, then it's all for the better in the long run. But again, I'm just one opinion. You've got yours, and we differ. That's cool.
If he puts on a match and puts a wrestler, I tweeted it out like to him. If he puts on a match and puts someone of other people over, I'm for him being here, because yes, he is an ECW original. His name is going to. I don't know about moving tickets. Like, people are going to show up. His own fans are going to show up. So we'll take whatever fans we get for the Hammerstein show. But if he's willing to work and put over somebody, then yes. Like, my original point still stands. If he's going to just stand in the corner, then I'd rather not see those kind of names sit there and kind of come in. Like we saw, like even at last Hammerstein show, some people show up and kind of just get the paycheck and show up for a pop and everything. And I understood it at that first Hammerstein. Let's make a big deal about this thing. But now, if this is your chance to make it up for the fans, like, I would keep it original, or have the originals beat all the legends that come in and at least use them in the correct way this time.
There's a question. Kev's Bootleg says, is this Hammerstein setting up a Nick Gage return again? I'll tell you what, if you want to, John, I think it's a very big possibility. There would have to be a lot of coordination behind the scenes, and it's very possible. So to recapture that feeling, the return of a big name would be wonderful. And I could tell you, for the fans who kind of know enough to be and show a little bit of concern, a lot of that would lift off of our shoulders at the show if we do see him show up. Now, again, he's not working there right now, so I can't say, sorry, Brent. No,
I cut you off because that exact thing at Hammerstein is what at the end popped me huge. I was like, I'm on camera saying, you saved it. Thank God, all's good in the GCW world. Like, it's saved. Nick Gage is back. Like, exactly what you said is kind of playing out again. And I think that's funny. But yeah, because that for me, like that was a big deal. Like him coming back to us and showing up at that Hammerstein. For me, it kind of did save a little bit of what I was kind of feeling. Like I enjoyed the show and everything, but I had that thought in the back of my mind: is all good in GCW world? Is everything okay? Like, is the King all right and everything? So him showing up made it kind of complete that whole story and that whole night of everything's well, and that kind of did like. I think that set the tone for how that show ended. All the wrestlers in the ring and celebrating. It was a very cool moment for him. And yeah, we'll see this time around what happens.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, and anything is possible. It's pro wrestling. I always look at it that way. I mean, who knows who could walk between those ropes between now and January. So we're looking forward to seeing who exactly is going to come through, because more names are coming through. I do have a very strong feeling that more names are going to be coming up from the, let's just say, the veteran side. And I look forward to it.
I do too. Like I said, I was happy to see some of these names pop back up. Like Frank was talking about Homicide Day. I don't consider Homicide an outside name too. Like his little part in that whole video was hysterical. I'm sorry, Blake had me dying. Like I couldn't take that video serious at the end with Blake just sitting there dancing still. Everyone's all serious. Like
I loved it.
Reminded me of the Paul London moment. Like that was Blake Christian's Paul London moment. Everyone's all serious and he's just fucking around. But I enjoyed that video, and seeing Homicide, like, and him losing his shit. Homicide was a name I didn't mind seeing, and like that made perfect sense. Like I didn't like how he won the battle royal to do that stuff. I wish they would have used other names at that time, but for what it was worth it, and I'm glad to see him coming back for the show.
And then we had a two-parter. I'll put them together here. Allie's video. She's cracking at the seams also. She's tired of Effie and how his persona is overshadowing hers. It looks like it's driving her crazy from what we're seeing in the video. The last couple weeks since Allie has been back, I feel has been really good work. I say great job on her end. I felt like we needed to see this bird fly full form, storyline and all, but GCW style. And I feel like we have it with her. After that video, Mance Warner shot off his own little video to her saying she's finally understanding that you have to break off from the group and become your own person. So that's where I'm going to stop, because I have a feeling Mance is going to try to pull her into deathmatch royalty. What are your thoughts on these two videos and what the outcome may be? I
agree. Allie's was really good. She's been perfect. Yeah, since her role, that promo that we talked about last week and everything. This is the role we've kind of been saying we wanted to see from her. So she's nailed it out of the park and is doing a great job. I kind of hope that's the Hammerstein match I want to see Effie in, is Effie versus Allie. Don't give me Effie versus Bully Ray. Like I want to see Effie and Allie have it, since they were the kind of two names that got screwed at the last Hammerstein, to kind of have their moment together and their big blow off at this one. I think would be a very cool moment. But the video was cool. Mance Warner. I was thinking about that because when Allie first started GCW, she had a feud with Mance, and like it was just Mance beating the hell out of her. But then kind of like, I'm doing this because I love you, and like we know like what's in you and stuff like that. So I wouldn't mind seeing them kind of play that back into it, kind of thing. Have her kind of go back to that, but then I also don't want her to stay with deathmatch royalty too. Not deathmatch royalty. If it's like breaking off something different with Mance, I'm all for that. But with her, with the Cardona and Steph and Jimmy, no, that's too much for me.
So then we move on here. Also released this week, Blake Christian had a video. It was in black and white. It was showing him sitting in the ring after a match. I believe this was from last weekend. He was defeated. You could see he was just pondering. He did not look good. And as they're showing this black and white with him just sitting in the ring, head down, you can hear fans just chanting, "Get the fuck out, get the fuck out," get it, over and over. And I really do want to know where this leads, because again, we're Blake Christian fans, and we're looking forward, because it looks like there's already a direction, or this arrow wouldn't have already been shot with all these little promos. So we have a slow burn here, which I'm hoping leads up to the new Blake Christian from now up to Hammerstein. So we'll see what happens there. When it comes to the Hammerstein, I just want to say it's not about just being there. It has to be sold now. So we're seeing a lot of moving storylines, come into play, and they're stirring in that mixing bowl. And I really love this, especially as someone who does reviews. It gives us a lot to talk about. Was there anything else you wanted to say, or was there anything you wanted to say about that Blake Christian video?
I'm trying to remember the phrase he used last year. I literally used a perfect time. I just found it. The true knowledge. I wonder how that kind of plays into everything. He hopped in chat last week. Just
Yes,
talked about what is true knowledge, and
I
yeah,
got that. If you want to know, I'm one of those guys who kind of, okay, so when you want to know what true knowledge is, something like that, right? The truest knowledge of all is anote tsieton, which means knowledge of oneself. So to know oneself. Interestingly enough, in the video, he's cracking and falling apart. He's going to have to do that. It's like a Phoenix Rising situation. So just anybody who knows that stuff. Yeah. And there's a little Greek for you. So you got a lot more than you really thought you were going to get for free tonight, guys.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
I'm
Francis,
interested to see how.
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just interested to see how like that played into this whole character change. I guess. Yeah, the video, and I kind of get eerie. Like that's kind of is like he plays that really good. Like when he cracks, like I'm interested to see if he's gonna crack in a good way or in a Brian Pillman kind of way. Because like the way he's shaking and like just like trying to hold back his anger and everything, and just I had one of those days, like my first year at this, like my new spot. Like, you just hear all day long negativity, and like at the end of the day, I'm like, let one more fucking thing say something to me, I'm gonna snap. Like that was like a crazy like feeling, and like seeing him portray that, like I want to see where he goes. I would like to see kind of like a little Pillman kind of a different way if he stays heel, kind of play into the loose cannon kind of character where anytime he hears a boo, he's just gonna snap.
Wow. Yeah, there's so much going on there. I'm really looking forward to seeing what's happening. Again, Blake Christian sounds like he's really setting up a character he's put some thought into. So when you have something where he keeps saying, you know, what is true knowledge, so on and so forth, I would say then it's all about truly development. So watch the development of what he has in these videos, because chances are, like any story, but especially in this one, it's going to lead to something greater. So I don't know, maybe there's going to even be little clues in these videos. Who knows how deep he wants to get in them here, but you know, Reed, of course, he just wants to see Blake with straight hair. What did you have there highlighted?
I want to go back to Frank. Like I'm the same way. Like, hey, just put on a show that's like memorable to like the times of like all those cool Hammerstein shows. Like create a Brian Danielson moment with his entrance. Give us like a Samoa Joe and oh my god, I'm having brain on the name, but like let's get like these cool matches, make moments that are feel good moments. As you said, like you don't worry about the numbers in this. In my opinion, I would do like have a fun, good, feel good moment show that's just everybody's talking about and wants to go to a GCW show again, because that kind of wasn't the talk after last time, obviously. And this is your chance to make good.
Make it feel like a party. I think that's what I'm looking for. And I'll stick to my guns. I'll stick to my guns on the three things. You need to stick to scrambles. You need to stick to luchas. And you need to stick to death matches. God, it almost got me there for a minute. I'm still recovering from illness.
I'm interested. I'd say I don't know too much about the whole New York thing, but after this week, I kind of have a little talking point. This LA main event kind of made me a little bit more hopeful for what we might be able to do at Hammerstein to kind of fulfill what was not there last time.
Same.
But I don't know. Like I said, it could be a waste, and we might not have a conversation. Someone might say the Fed or the commission's not going to allow gusset plates or something other than that, like that. So I don't know though. I was kind of hopeful after this weekend seeing that.
I'll just jump this up here real quick, just because. Dami, good to see you in the group here. Yep.
I didn't know about the blood for sure.
It's going to will not be easy. No glass, no blood. See, that's another one, is the company that came up with glass and blood is going to have to not use those items. So that increases the difficulty level just a little bit also. It's going to be really, you know, it's kind of, you know, I think a show at some point, oh, there, I see it right there.
I see it all. Yeah, I get it. Yep. See, there you go. End of conversation. So I don't know. I'm still kind of hopeful they're obviously these last 2 weekends main events, they got creative. And that's something that I was really happy to see in these two main events.
Yes.
How different they felt compared to the last time they were at these venues.
Well, that was the news, quote unquote.
Right.
If you're ready to jump into our first show of the night.
All right, let me get my notes ready. Yeah, I gotta get a separate notepad ready. All right, our first show we're covering was GCW War Ready from the Quarry in Jefferson County Fairgrounds in Golden, Colorado. And yep, I'll let you go from there. Sorry.
So for the last 2 months, GCW has been opening with these replay packages. I know, B, you and I have been asking for them so much. What a huge improvement, especially for anyone who may come to my house that's new and they've never seen it before. It's nice for me to sit there and go, look what he did to him, and look at this and look at that. And if I missed a show, which I can't, but if I missed a show, it would be a nice catch up to kind of just keep me going with what's going on, especially in this storyline heavy era right now with GCW. Good acoustics in the Quarry. They had smoke and colored lights on the wrestlers' entrances. They were wrestling on a rubber mat. I believe that was for blood. Bran, I'm going to ask you, did you notice that the Quarry had a creative venue, WWE vibes kind of thing going on there in any way? Like, it had that look where you could start with that. yeah, like you could have some fun with it. Emil and Lauderdale were also taking turns on commentary, and I thought they did a hell of a good job. I say it before, anytime either of those are on commentary, it's the fans really love it. No kidding.
Yeah, I have notes on commentary all night long or all weekend long. They were everybody was great on commentary. All right, our first match was Mr. Danger going against JKM.
Oh yeah, here we go. Mr. Danger, happy to see he's alive after those 2 huge dives last weekend. We saw a lot of good and bad off and on about that, but mostly good. Danger put his ass, back, head, neck, spine on the line out there, and kudos to him because he's just an up and coming. I mean, fans love him. He's putting his name out there, and he's really doing something special with it. On JKM's side, I have that he has Scramble written all over him, and 3 years ago, that's specifically where I'd be putting him. He's a hungry young guy. He has a good look to him. Possibly premature having him open the show in a singles match, but here I feel, especially for the amount of time he's had in experience, he did a damn good job. So I don't want to take that away from him whatsoever. But 3 years ago, GCW, I'd be throwing him in a Scramble and have absolutely no problems telling him to just go hit your spots, man. I'll just leave it right there for a second. Do you have any impressions between Danger and JKM?
I have the same note right there. Like I enjoyed this match, or I enjoyed the match as an opener because the crowd was super into it, and I think it was because it showed how much JKM improved since the last time we saw him, especially now in a singles matchup. And this was like, I actually kind of enjoyed this. This is like my opening kind of matchup. Like have high flyers, get the fans into it, and have them chanting all these chants right away. And I was really looking forward to see what they both could do in a singles match, and they both did really good. And Brett, I think, called it on commentary best, mentioning how unique both of the movesets are and how they were going to mesh in this match.
I'm just going to put this in right here too. I actually took that out of my notes, but yeah, the hard cam was rotated in this one like a 90-degree, because before most people would realize when they were watching the show, you could see the stands in the background. They don't have that anymore here. I'm not going to lie. I kind of, maybe it's my inner redneck, I like the fairgrounds aspect of it. And it kind of gave it, not going to lie, it kind of gave it that mud show feel. I love it. Own it. Why the fuck not? Right. Also, great one here said, I sure wouldn't have anyone that was actually in the Scramble in this spot in lieu of JKM, except the guy who actually won the Scramble. And I think that's fair, right?
Yeah.
So.
Same.
I put here that Danger showed more wrestling and athleticism than usual. We needed to see his capabilities, and the singles match featured some of what he's capable of doing. And I can see now he's very capable of carrying a singles match on his own. What were your thoughts there, if anything?
No, I already said it out.
Agree,
All my notes was right there. I thought it was a solid opener, and JKM just shows improvement every time, as you said. And like this one was a good showcase of it.
Well, our winner here was Mr. Danger with the Perfect Plex. I think I may talk about that down the road, but yeah, they wanted at one time to call it the Danger Plex. It was talked about, but Mr. Danger's a Mr. Perfect fan, so Perfect plex, it stays. I wrote in this one, given the use and lesser experience, they did a good job keeping it interesting.
Yeah, like I said, I thought it was a strong opening first match. Next matchup was Brooke Havoc going against Dulce Tormenta.
Dulce Tormenta. Welcome back, Dulce. Someone I enjoy watching. A young talent with tons of upside. We have another young talent in opponent Brooke Havoc. I did enjoy that the outfit colors between the both of them were perfectly opposite. Dulce's in purple, Brooke was in green. The fans were solidly behind Tormenta at times, even though it seemed more like a face versus face match. It was still kept fairly friendly. Brooke really picked up momentum in the last few minutes of the match and picked up the win here. So our winner was Brooke Havoc. Again, Dulce had this match for probably about 65% of the time, and then Brooke really poured it on towards the end there. I wrote here that it was more of a traditional number 2 match, heavy wrestling, and I just hope to see them both come back soon.
Yeah, I enjoy having them both at the shows at all time, and this time seeing against each other, I was excited for it. This was another good matchup for Brooke going against the returning Dulce. I thought both of them had a really strong in-ring matchup. As you said, this was kind of like traditional heavy wrestling there, and both looked really good, and they had a nice showcase match. As you said, I think delivered. Both of them showed what they're made of. But Brooke yes. always shows something new every time. Like Dulce always looks smooth and solid and everything. For me, it was like I saw some new stuff in this match from Brooke that I haven't seen. So it's fun seeing her grow in her time. Her time in GCW and even getting the Hammerstein spot. That's where I was leading to was pretty cool to see. Our next matchup was Alec Price versus Jack Cartwheel.
All right, into Jack Cartwheel. I wrote here the first note. This would have been my opener. Alec came out with high energy. Jack Cartwheel came out just the same way. He has new awesome red and black gear. Brant, I figured that would have been right up your alley if you check it out. They both encompass the youth I want to see at GCW. Dude, it's so fantastic. Lauderdale was on the mic. He says the boys in the back call Cartwheel Jackie Boy. I felt that Jackie Boy had a great showing tonight. I feel that Jack upgrades any match that he's in. When I see him on the card and I see him somewhere, I'm like, how is he going to match up with him tonight? And that's what I like to feel. I like to have almost like a sports feel to the matchups a little bit. It's in his uniqueness and variety. But here I put in a matchup all about athleticism. Alec was the perfect match for Jack. Usually we see both of these men slowing down to meet their opponent's speed, but here both easily went pedal to the floor without losing any speed late in the match. Our winner here I put as Alec Price, and I'm going to throw it back to you and find out what you have to say here.
Those are really good notes. Yeah, like that said it kind of perfectly. They both were able to keep what makes them so impressive. And like for me, Alec Price as of late is just stepped it up even more. How he just goes in the ring and just flies, and he's just doing new unique moves and creative moves that just coming at you out of nowhere. Like he every single time, and this match was like really impressive. He stood out, but Jack, for me in this match, Jack showed like how confident he is and like how fluid he's gotten in the ring, and like him and having these good fast-paced one-on-one matches. I was kind of hoping more than 9 minutes. I was hoping I said both deserve some time here to display a fun match, and they didn't get enough time to, in my opinion, for my liking, didn't give enough time to do some more cool stuff. But yeah, they are absolutely impressive. And that kind of talks about I don't know if this was on the podcast or what, we're talking about the Extreme Belt. Okay. I couldn't remember this before or after before the podcast or during, but like, if you're going to make JCW a thing again, which I kind of hope they do and kind of make it, maybe even travel to do like these kind of JCW shows and do these open, like Jack Cartwheel and Alec Price, like they might be GCW regulars, but if you're really going to grow JCW, I think they would be the perfect type of wrestlers to put there and help elevate that brand again. But what they do in GCW, I just feel like they keep on growing, but they're just not quite there yet. But that's not on their fault. It's just like they're just young and growing there. But they just need something else, I think, to kind of challenge and fight over to help take them all to those kind of wrestlers to the next level.
I like to say that amongst their age group, they're champions. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you look at Alec, who off the top of my head, I think he's 24. Amongst other 24-year-olds, he's a champion. So I could see a young group of upstarts really take over JCW if the structure and everything was done properly, and then just make that the wild out, spot fest kind of show where the youth is just saying, hey, here's what's coming down the pipeline. You guys better be ready for it. I'd love to see that kind of energy come through. It's what I want to see at GCW.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to take them off GCW cards, but
Never.
I would be focusing JCW around those kind of people that are like I know right now they're doing Griffin McCoy, Masha, Kerry Morton, that's there too, but I think they're just underneath Alec and Jack just need something like a title to help just chase after and show, get them challenging each other, like The Rock and Triple H when they're fighting over their Intercontinental title. They just need something to elevate both their games to the next level.
I'm going to put this one up right here. Brooke Havoc seems to actually be in full rotation. I think she had 6 spots, and they're going to be bringing her on for more, and we may have seen the 5th or the 6th spot in that leg. Not 100% sure on that one. Speaking of the Extreme title, great one said Maki Ito's GCW gimmick is dead in the water now. It very well could be. How do you even book her to lose the belt? That's a great question. I did think about that for a while, a couple weeks ago. The only way there's 2 ways. Number one, it needs to go to a strong female like Sawyer Wreck, or the other option is you need to put it on a nasty heel that's willing to take that heat, chew it up, and make the best of it. Maybe like a Murdoch or someone like that. But it would have to be someone down and dirty, because they're going to be touching one of our favorites, and people are pretty protective of some of those performers. I'm not against taking it off of her, because right now, unless they do something else, she's going to have to go back out there and lip sync into a microphone again. And not a lot of us are really into that. So, Dom just asked what had happened with Maki Ito. Nothing has really happened with Maki Ito. It's just she's part of the MDK gang. But the problem is Nick isn't there right now. So it's kind of hard for those to kind of, associate those together. They may, but when the bell sounds, people may expect one thing and get another, and it's just a weird thing right now. I don't have a better way to put that. I put here. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I would use it. I think I said this last week. I would just use the Extreme title to elevate and showcase Sydney Akeem and Jack Evans, those crazy wrestlers that just do unique stuff. Kind of use that as the X Division title. Showcase a different style of wrestling with the Extreme title that doesn't have to always be doors and ultra violence. It could just be crazy, unique wrestling styles and movesets you don't see often. That's what I would kind of use it for. That separates it from the ultra violent title. Someone said earlier, I wouldn't do the Extreme title for NGI when you already got the ultra violent title. And I think in everybody's mind, ultra violent for death matches is higher than the Extreme. I just would do something unique and different with the Extreme title to make it feel like a different title that you're watching. When the X Division belt came out and Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Daniel, that was a different style of wrestling we were seeing. And that just made that style, and that doesn't limit anybody. It just limits it, as it said, towards its style. I would kind of make it a unique one and showcase different styles that what we're seeing in other divisions.
I like what Frank was saying there about unifying the Extreme and JCW, make it an IC. I'll go this route. I would take the JCW, make it an IC, and then I would take the Extreme and make it the UV for JCW. So JCW would have its own Extreme title where anybody down in that area, and then you have GCW who would have their UV title. So they would actually be separated between companies. Again, then if it stays dormant, that's okay, because it's JCW. Again, it's been said many times that Extreme title was kind of an extra one to begin with. It was a rollover title from a long time ago.
Not to be taken seriously.
Not to be taken seriously. So, I mean, to put it into that category.
I would just have fun with that at that point then. If you're not going to take it
24/7, make it a 24/7 belt and just
push it on social media.
Dude, social media would be the way to go too, because if somebody gets really creative with it, it goes viral.
Sydney Akeem flipping over a car at the UCC parking lot and DDT and Jack Evans to win the belt. That'd be cool shit.
Oh, well, Janela getting someone at the bar entirely too drunk. He just buys them drinks over and over. And then when they pass out on the ground, he just kind of covers them for 3. I mean, you can have a lot of fun with it. A lot.
Yeah, if you're not gonna treat it and like treat it and take it seriously, yeah, I would just be doing fun and entertaining stuff and just experiment, see what works.
Yeah, what's going to make people laugh? The UCC has a parking lot. Listen to him. Yeah. Um, Back to this match here. I just put it was a very good match. It earned the holy shit chant. I do recommend watching this one. And I also noticed in these first 3 matches, there was a lot of youth featured. And I'm not against that because of the youth that we did have featured. I think they did a damn good job.
Yep, JKM's always one I'm excited to see when we get into that kind of territory. All right, our next match was Megan Bain versus Griffin McCoy.
It is so funny for people to see us flip on the Griffin McCoy situation. It is. It's just like you and I with Violence is Forever. You and I with Los Macizos.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Violence is Forever. I've slowly come around to them. Not the same though, but we've flipped here and there, and it's kind of funny how that's worked out. I put here respectfully, Griffin respectfully still has JCW feeling to me. I was wondering if maybe you had the same feeling there with him. I feel like he hasn't broken through the JCW ceiling just yet to be considered a GCW level performer, but he's getting there. One day, hopefully we can see him up in that higher category there. I think in a year, he'll be a lot more polished and better off, and hopefully more accepted / booed from now. I put that he does have a time. They are trying to get him over. Was that go away heat was what I was almost wondering in that show. That was what I was wondering. I have Bane's strength was on display in this match. Griffin is not the lightest of people to pick up. Megan's a great example in how far women have come in wrestling ability over the years. I like her better with an active storyline, but playing the role as a victim in that storyline is counterintuitive to her character, who's supposed to be goddess-like. I know I put a lot in there real quick. I'm just saying, if she's going to be in a storyline, don't make her the victim because she's supposed to be godlike. And we can't build her as the strongest thing under the sun and then have her wimp out every time a storyline comes up. She can't be saved. She may have to save Joey. If she's a goddess, chances are maybe Joey's a god. I don't know. But if Joey needs saving, it'd be fun to watch her walk through the wall to pick him up off the floor. Your turn.
I think the anger or like what the struggle is what motivates her to get to the godlike level. This is how I kind of see it. Like I think you do need the sympathetic kind of role. Like you can't have the godlike baby face all the time just dominate, then that's going to get kind of boring. I kind of like it. She plays both, I think, very well. Like we've mostly seen the face version of her in this one, but like I've seen her as a heel and she works really good as a heel too. So her flexibility and like ability to do both is really key, and I think shows her value as a wrestler too.
I wrote the winner
right
here.
There. Yep.
Megan Bain with a tombstone. It was a touch longer than I expected, but it carried well. The pace was good. There were no dead spots. I said McCoy, he had a great job getting his ass kicked, but again, that's the point. 13-minute match here. Was there anything else you wanted to say on that one?
Actually, this is where like it's frustrating because I do like Griffin McCoy. Like this was a strong in-ring performance. Like I wrote, like really good match. I still hate the gimmick, but his in-ring in this match was better. Was a better performance that displays his abilities rather than the character. I think like if he just focuses on his in-ring stuff instead of this focusing on the character too much, like that's for me his strong part is as of like pretty much since before I really liked him, then he kind of went on a kind of a dry spell, like, but I think the matches were just too long for where he's at right now. But like that dog collar match with Jordan was like a different version of Griffin McCoy, but like Griffin could do a lot of cool stuff, and like I really do like his in-ring work. I just hate the gimmick, that's all in. But like I was like this match, I was like, this is like, it was frustrating. I'm like, stop doing the stop guy time. But like in-ring, I'm like, this is what I saw in him back in the Young, Dumb and Broke days. Like I thought he was like the second in line in that group and had the second most potential with Jordan. And I just feel like ever since that he kind of broke away and Young Dumb kind of broke up, everyone's been trying to find their
Young Dumb and broke
Jordan.
up.
yeah. Like everyone like is trying to find their footing, and Jordan kind of had the base and kind of was like the leader of the group. But now like I'm giving them all time, but like Griffin McCoy, it feels like step back from that time. But in ring, he's improved. So I just want the character to improve as well. Kind of like Kerry has like kind of the same heat, but in a different way where he knows what he's doing and doing it. Like for me, I just feel like Griffin McCoy is just now forcing this on us because he knows we all hate it, and that's how he's going to get the heat. I just wish it was some more authentic heat instead of, as you said, kind of feels like go away hate for me and the gimmick wise.
I'll touch this just for a moment. I think Megan is miscast as a face, but Saturday was a good use of faces. I'll say I honestly think she came in as a heel and the fans turned her face. We may or may not be inadvertently just a little bit part of that. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. Oh, here's another one, the UCC parking lot. If you've been there, you've been there. Okay. On to the next match, unless there was anything else you wanted to say on this one.
Nope. That was good. Next match was Gringo Loco versus Jack Evans.
And I have to say, welcome back, Jack Evans. Last seen on June 18th, 2022 at GCW's You Wouldn't Understand, where he had a banger versus Ninja Mac at the Belrose Ballroom. Jack wanted to start the match with a dance-off. Gringo wanted nothing of it. I'll just add a little spot in here. We had Jack with a huge backflip off a ledge in the crowd. He also hit a 450 splash into a German suplex. Gringo put some serious work into this match without going into any details. And our winner here was Gringo Loco with an avalanche base bomb. What were your thoughts on this one?
Jack Evans fits GCW. Like I'm mad I didn't really go watch a lot of his prime of his career and everything, but what he's even doing now at this age is super impressive and fun to watch. And he fits GCW as a style. So I kind of wouldn't mind seeing him and Akeem kind of. I know the next night we kind of see them, or no, they already wrestled, but like I would like to see like Akeem and Jack Evans like kind of form a tag team because like they're just so creative and like that's the kind of wrestler I'm envisioning for like the extreme titles. Someone like Jack Evans that's creative and just does a bunch of cool stuff and like. You don't need a bunch of time to do cool things with that extreme belt. Make it a 6-minute spot face and have people talking about it. But going back to this match, Gringo, as you said, did a lot of the work, but Evans just looks like he hasn't even lost a step. He looks so fluid in the ring. And after seeing that first match with Ninja and how that ended, I'm always glad to see him carry through a match and see him having fun and like that entrance. You just see him enjoy wrestling and enjoying the GCW vibe. So I hope we do see more Jack Evans in the near future, the next few shows.
And I don't know why I put this in here, but I had to put it. I was halfway through the show. I noticed there were no tag matches, nothing crazy. It was all singles. And I felt it was almost TNA-like in its presentation because it was just singles. And again, don't kill me. I don't know. It just kind of had that feeling. I also want to say happy that Jack came back to GCW. He's 42 years old and he's pulling off stuff like that. I have no idea how his body's holding up.
Yeah, like I said, he's still doing crazy flips and taking crazy bumps. And I was really I was really thrilled to be able to see him on Saturday night in LA. Like that was just the vibe. Like he just fits our vibe, and I'm glad that we're giving him this chance. And the Hammerstein, I right there agree, Reed. I that's kind of where I was going with it. I kind of hope we see him in this future in Hammerstein because I think him doing some cool stuff just visually, like you could make it a callback and use that as footage that will help grow GCW and the history of Hammerstein. Like I just, we'll talk a lot more Hammerstein later on.
And great one here had a good point. Meanwhile, half the card the next night were tags and didn't suffer for it. You jumped me on that point, man. Good one. I was going to get to the point later. I was like, okay, this was one kind of show and this was a completely different kind of show. He was reading my notes
stealing your shit this time. Yeah, every time he goes reading my notes, he's stealing your notes now. Good shit, great one.
It's also good to see you guys tonight. I'll go ahead and just make a quick announcement here since we're on the point. I'll just go ahead and say our guest for next week, next Tuesday, is going to be Gringo Loco. We're going to have Gringo Loco on here. He's got about an hour to sit with us, talk everything out for a little bit. So we're going to put the nails to him and have some fun. You know how rough we are on our performers over here. But yeah, we're happy to have him over here. It's another one. It's another interview that we can give all of our listeners. And wow, we've had a lot of great people on the show, and I have another heavy hitter after Gringo Loco also, and we'll get into that as
I'm about to
the
say
weeks
when we get to
progress.
announce that one's gonna be fun too.
I want to announce it so bad right now, but I always like to
We don't.
confirm like a week ahead of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm about to say yeah. Let's
'Cause I don't
let's
want to feel like an
double check.
asshole.
Yeah,
I'm like, hey, look who's coming, and then fast forward 3 weeks later, and I'm sitting there alone with crickets.
yeah. Gringo's gonna be fun. Gringo next week. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Oh god, it's gonna be
Obviously.
so much fun.
All right. Our next match was Dark Sheik versus Jeffrey John.
I wrote here that Dark Sheik was way over in Colorado and got a welcome back chant from the beginning. I believe there was a good group of people there that were just over happy to see Dark Sheik. And you know what? That's what it's about. No kidding. I also like Jeffrey John a lot, but the wrestling tonight, I don't know how or what reason it wasn't the same. I kept my notes short. I have the winner here as Dark Sheik. It was a very quick 6-minute match. I also put here, it almost felt like it was an unnecessary filler match. And I'm trying not to be, harsh on that, but it was also kind of slower. But again, I will say, Jeffrey John was there, number one. That's good. Number two, Sheik was there and made the fans absolutely happy. And I'll be honest, that's what it's about. So yeah, that's what I have to say on that one.
I pretty much have similar notes. I wrote this one, kind of felt like it was thrown in there. I was happy to see Jeffrey John get a spot on the card and have a match. And Dark Sheik, I was glad to see Sheik get the welcome in Colorado. And yeah, Sheik always gets love. And yeah, it just felt like it was a thing to put for Sheik and to get Jeffrey John, but like this is not a bad way. Like, hey, that's 6 minutes, that's fine. I just kind of wish if they were given a little bit more time to showcase what they have. But yeah, I was glad that they had a spot on the card at least.
Also, I'll just say, if you have a chance, just hit the like button also on YouTube. Follow us if you get a chance. I'm terrible with all this stuff. So if you have a chance, support us in that way, if anything.
Hit that like button, subscribe.
Yeah. Click on the bell.
I'm about to say, what was the other one? The bell. All right. Our next matchup was Effie versus Rina Yamashita.
The original Elton John Yellow Brick Road is back. I was so happy to hear this version again that I actually yelled back to my wife in the kitchen. I'm like, Elton John's version is back again. She's like, yeah. Rina in this match means that we have weapons, and a lot were there. Effie went evil for a bit. I put here that a lot more real wrestling happened than a regular death match would have been. A 14.5-minute match. There was a nice spot where Rina puts Effie through a door head first. Our winner here ended up being Effie with a sack rider through a door. And I just wrote in my final note here that Rina took a surprising second loss. Sometimes we see that when champions, lose their belt. Sometimes there's a small slide there. So I'm curious as to where her direction is next.
I hope it's kind of going where it's at right now. I'm not worried about the wins and losses with her. She had 2 years of holding that belt and not losing. So I'm interested to see these kind of main event level matches. And once again, she got another one. And this one with Effie, even though it wasn't the main event, these are main event hitters in GCW that she's having, almost 15-minute matches with and telling cool stories. And I'm glad to see her used in this way and different than what the deathmatch Amazonas is. And I was kind of happy to see Effie win. I'm hoping this does lead to Effie and Ali at Hammerstein and not Effie and someone else at Hammerstein. I'm kind of glad. I want to see Effie and Ali build some momentum, build some wins, and see the big blow up there. And Rina, I think it doesn't hurt her right now getting the losses.
No. Yeah, she's earned her stripes, and it's like we were saying last week. It's like she doesn't need a belt. She can walk into any arena in instant respect. I'll just touch on this real quick here. Effie will switch back and forth based on venue and what specific vibe he's actually trying to set up. Yeah, that can change week to week. Good point there. Great one says, I got to say, seeing Rina booked on this West Coast loop after losing a title and not seeing Brandon is not the best start to the UV title run. Interesting way to put that. He may be recovering. He may just get everything set up. But I'll tell you this much. At the end of Brandon Kirk's run, I have a feeling we're going to see some serious work put in.
And I'm not gonna go into
Yeah.
it too much. It's just been a week. Like he just missed the first week after he held it. Like, I understand what you're saying. Like, yeah, the West Coast, we don't ever see that UV belt out here. And if we're gonna have a cool death match as we saw in this one, and our UV champion's not in it, I understand that. But I don't mind holding him off to NGI, maybe setting up with him defending the belt throughout the tournament or whatever they plan on doing with that. And kind of like, he just won the belt, let's not throw him right back in there. As you said, he might be recovering and stuff. And to see Rena kind of going on the West Coast and doing a West Coast loop is always a treat for us. So I was happy with it. But I understand what you're saying, but I'm gonna give it a little bit of time here.
I'll also echo great one on one thing. I'm looking forward to seeing Brandon Kirk on the West Coast. Also, he's been very vocal. He wants to get to the West Coast. He really wants to get to Las Vegas, LA, Phoenix. He's looking forward to it a lot.
Especially after you see what we saw in this, the main event of this card, you're like, damn. Like, but hope is next time we will be seeing that ultraviolet belt on the West Coast. That's what my hope is. This was like 2 or 3 weeks afterwards and he didn't show up, I'd be a little concerned, but this was literally the first week after he just won it. So I'm not worried too far. I'm actually kind of happy with what we got this weekend, and if what that kind of leads, like I was saying earlier, hopefully for the future, and kind of not the death matches, but at least the ultra violence and some violence for the West Coast shows in Colorado and LA. Oh, true. Yeah, Frank's got there. Sorry.
The boys are talking. They're talking business over there.
Yeah, he just won the belt and they didn't book him for their shows. Yeah, true. All right. Our next matchup was a scramble, as it was Gino Rivera, Bryce 5, Dave Cole, Bruce Wayans, Atiba, and Ariel Van Gogh. Sorry, Atiba. I couldn't even catch that name. I totally missed that.
When I first spelled it, I spelled it as Ateeba because, I'm not smart enough to understand silent I's and E's and shit. But yeah, Atiba, Atiba. This was a scramble with mostly local talent. I would say that normally this would be a dark match to suffice the locals, or open the show and told the guys to push the adrenaline to 110%. Also, at one point, there were 2 guys in the ring just fighting more than usual. That's not a scramble. The other wrestlers are also spectating more than usual. Fight your wrestlers. A nice spot here. Ariel Van Gogh with a huge dive off the lighting truss. He got the coveted holy shit chance. Like most scrambles, there was too much to write down here without something missing. I do think the boys did a great job. I just saw that there was a couple times where guys were just watching them. And let's be honest, this is your 6 minutes and you're fighting with all these other guys for attention. Get your minutes, like get your spots in, and on the outside of the ring, if you have to fight out there, dazzle them out there. Do what you got to do because you're trying to get your name out there. Don't just soak into the fucking canvas. Like, rise up a little bit from it. I put here that Ariel was the only one that I knew, and that's perfectly fine. Oh, I'm sorry. I did lie. I remember Gino Rivera. He's the gentleman that's the trainer. He trained JKM. It's starting to come back to my head now. When we first saw JKM, I believe we first saw Gino Rivera at the same time too. So it was student and teacher. It's all coming back now. Cool people, man. Cool people.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of like this was another one where like Ariel stole the show, kind of, and I was kind of hoping to see more from the other people that we never seen or heard of. For me, I Gino Rivera is just like West Coast Tony Deppen. I love Gino. I think I love how they use him and how he always just whatever time, like as you said, like he makes the most out of his time, whatever it is. Like he's gonna go out there and put on whatever he wants to do for his character to get the most heat and also to help the opponents get the cheers and stuff. But I really enjoy what he does in his short time. And I saw him. I was like, yes, I like Gino when they came back from when they I don't think they did the whole announcement. I think there's just some wrestlers already in the ring for the scramble. But when I saw Gino, I got excited. And Van Gogh, I was hoping for some flippy stuff. And yeah, he's always doing some cool stuff. Oh, okay, cool. Dave Cole, I didn't know that. All right, our main event of the evening was a death match, as it was Dr. Redacted going against Oren Veit.
Oh boy, here we go. This felt like GCW to me. We had gusset plates, panes of glass, chairs, door bridges, light tubes everywhere, Tokyo Towers, you name it, they had it. Fans were alive for this death match. It felt more like I said here in my notes, classic GCW. It was violent until there was an injury. Took a few moments to get back on track. No big deal. Brett was down there to make sure everything was taped up properly. I was watching Oren leaking blood on a door while he was setting up a door bridge. It created a great image. I appreciate the classic fairground fight in the stands that they also had. Any old school wrestling fans from the 60s, 70s, and 80s could appreciate a good battle into the grandstands kind of thing. A nice spot here. Oren goes up to the balcony area and puts Redacted through a couple of stacked door bridges. Minutes later, Oren's stomach gets chewed up by a fucking weed whacker. Our winner here was Dr. Redacted with a frog splash for the win. I felt both guys did a great job. I just put here more of this, please. Also, I wrote 2016, 2017 GCW vibes. This is what put them on the map. I put that Oren puts over Redacted, and he said the doctor is in. I felt that was poetic. Right now, whether you like him or not, I feel like Dr. Redacted is living and breathing what the next generation of GCW deathmatch should be. So I wanted to put that out there as well. Yeah, excellent match. There was wrestling. Also, there was death match. There was a ton of danger. I was on the edge of my seat going, oh man, this actually is dangerous. This isn't the regular little glass dance. These guys are going at it. I'm seeing things hit at angles that are a little more dangerous than usual. I'm like, you know what? They're the professionals. They knocked it out of the park. I'm going to stop talking because this actually made me excited. If this is what we're going to be seeing, I'll talk about this further down the road. It's all on you, man.
I will echo everything you said there. Yeah, you had it spot on. It made me feel like how I didn't watch GCW when it first started, but like going back and watching how they started now, like my blood level and like just interest and enjoyment of the shows. And like as you said, you're on the edge of your seat, the ultra violence. And for me, this is the kind of death matches I want to see, not just light tube. I want to see moves with the light tube, moves with the chair, moves with the door. Outside, let's climb up and use our surroundings, do some crazy. Like that was incredible main event. I need to see your next note. I don't want to steal it, but I
Go ahead.
No, I agree with it because like it's these type of matches that stand out. And as you said, I think this is what's going to take Dr. Redacted to the next level. This is what I want to see in death matches. This is what I've been asking for. Spikes up the chair. Yeah. Like Dr. Redacted, like as you said, the new age of deathmatch of GCW is we're going to throw our lives out there because we are the next group and this is our time now to do so. So let's use everything that we have and use our bodies, use our creativity and do something different that the group before us didn't. And this death match was like one of the top death matches I've seen this year. Not just like in GCW. Like I know it doesn't fit the death match type. It is a death match, but for me, it felt more than a death match. It felt like a wrestling match that, like, to me, it felt like they were fighting for a spot in NGI. Like there was something on the line here, and like that's the emotion. That's what you want to have these wrestlers to express it in the ring is the urgency to win, not just to hit each other with light tubes and draw blood and roar to the crowd. Like let's get the fans invested in. Oren Vite's done an excellent job every time he's been in GCW. In this match, he really showed his leadership because, like, even you see, like, when he first hurt or saw Dr. Dex hurt, he's like, no, like, I can't just sit here and do nothing. I'm going to fucking hit you with like a couple more times, roll out, sell this shit. But like, he's like such a veteran. And I think he handled this situation so good. He handled the Cole Radrick situation so good and help elevating Cole to the next level. Oren is providing so much in this return that I want to see him be like, kind of like the Tremont. Him and Tremont are using their name values. While Tremont has a lot more, Oren is like using his dedication and love. Like he's having that love that Drew Parker has for GCW. Oren has that just for death matches. I don't think it matters who or what the letters are. He just wants death match to grow and see young talent get over. And he did a great job of this match getting Dr. Redacted over. But Doctor is just a nut job and crazy of going through everything he did, and I love it. The guts spots of the head. Every time I see it from Dr. Redacted, hits differently. And yeah, I'm the same way with you right now. I'm rambling, but I loved this one. This like was a show stealer for me. I left like really, really excited what we're going to see in NGI and just in death matches moving forward because this was more than just light tube, as you said. It was good. It was a spectacle, that's for sure.
So we saw these matches, and then, the one would put over the other. Tremont had put over Brandon Kirk. We have here or invite put over Dr. Redacted. Just to kind of spice it up a little, I would have had qualifying matches to get your spot to NGI. Because what would have happened here is Kirk would have went over Tremont. Tremont would have grabbed the mic and been, Not only, it's just the fact that it sells more when it says NGI qualifying matches. You know what I mean? Like, it just looks better. You're going to have the match anyway. Stick the freaking name on it. Get this. Like I said, this is where my brain starts to kick. I'm going,
it elevates the importance of the match. Like, oh, there's stakes involved now instead of, oh, this is a death match, and we'll see you guys next week in the tournament anyway. Like, this is stakes on it, and that's what gets the crowd into it. And the wrestlers showed that emotion and to draw it out. Like, yeah, I agree with you. I think maybe hopefully next year, if we get a little bit bigger talent pool, I think in the years past we could have done qualifying matches. I think lately there's kind of been trying to get even just 12 names to represent death matches, like how GCW does, has been a kind of a struggle. So you can't do qualifying matches that way. But I think now, if we start to throw in some new names and see some more new names and new faces all over the place, absolutely, I want to see a qualifier for the entry into the NGI.
My final note on here was that overall smaller show, the main event, doesn't matter. The main event was memorable.
John Wayne Murdoch and Mansour in Milwaukee, what looked like in front of 50 people, was a main event to remember. That's for sure.
The old the old adage of, well, at least I did it in front of 50 people for no money. That's always the old.
But the thousands of people watching on Fight TV are like, yes, like give us more.
And then the 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 plus that see it viral the next couple days online. Again, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for those viral things that sit on Twitter and just float around for days with the letters GCW on the screen.
Sometimes you don't look for it. Sometimes they look for itself and come at you. Just kidding.
I'll put that up just for a second. I hope Brett's telling the truth about lots of Showboat appearances in 2025, because Redacted's AC debut will be next. Yes, it will be. That would be a show worth being at, would be the debut of Redacted at AC.
I got scared when I saw the towel being brought out and they're asking to wrap it. I'm like, please not.
I hate those.
Redacted right before NGI. Like, not now. Like, I felt so, like, my heart sunk for him. I'm like, please be all right. Don't let this affect anything going on, because I think he's got a bright future coming up here in GCW and beyond. But just now, especially a very important couple of weeks in NGI and the role that he's been on, like, I was just like, please not this timing for that injury. And thank God he was all right and finished it, because I felt bad for him for a little bit. All right, so we did it.
Yeah, that's the first one down.
Yeah, first one. That's all right, part 2, night 2 of the West Coast trip. GCW returns to the UCC in Los Angeles, California, for Blood on the Hills 3.
Yeah. So I just wrote it quickly that the UCC seemed brighter on TV. I think you were there and you said you didn't see a change, so it might have just been a little something here or there that kind of showed up. Looking around, I noticed there's party lights on the UCC walls, like for weddings and stuff. Are we allowed to use those? Could we also have cool party lights at our show? Just wondering there. It's possible. Cool. It would also be cool to hear the wrestlers' entrance music just a little more like WWE or AEW does. Personal preference. Go ahead.
I sat underneath the goddamn speaker all night, and it was still tough to hear the music that was playing. I literally was sitting underneath the speaker by the entrance, and I had a hard time hearing the music, and like it wasn't clear, but it wasn't good audio. But it didn't. I don't like when I went back and rewatched it. It didn't seem like it was too bad on the Triller TV from what I kind of originally saw.
Yeah, see, people are starting to notice.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's known that. Got like before the podcast, I even said like, because I saw some people talking about lights. I'm like, it's not even that big a deal. Like, I was there, it seemed normal, but damn, I guess everybody else saw something that I didn't. So, all right, let's talk about the lights then. I retract that statement.
Just real quickly, it seemed like there was somebody had gotten a bunch of white lights and turned them on now, because you know how we have that UCC golden glow. It didn't come across on hard cam like a golden glow. Actually, it was kind of amazing that they did that, especially if you know what I mean. Like, but the color of the white level or whatever the heck it was just interesting. So. I don't know. But yeah, it was all over the internet. We're like, did they change the lighting there? Because again, a lot of us kind of like the golden lighting. But I mean, if it's also going to have a nice, I don't know. It's just I felt like we saw more shadows and light on
Obviously,
people's
they did.
faces than yeah. I don't know.
I didn't notice it. It takes a lot, I guess, for me to notice stuff like that. But like when we first talked about it, I'm like, I didn't notice it at all. I'm like, okay, that was like one camera angle, but seeing all these things, like, I'll shut up and you guys bitch
Right
about
there.
the lights.
Right there, though, too. There was also white curtains on hard cam over the
I
Ukrainian
like
flag.
that.
Also over the I saw the columns that are on either side, one column on each side also had white on it. I like that too. I like kind of opening the show and you don't know what kind of decorations the UCC is going to have from the last party.
The
You know
green,
what I mean?
I'm waiting for them to bring back the green screen, see what they do with that again.
Oh,
Like,
okay, Ash, if you're in here, man, you got to bring back that green screen where, you know, it doesn't quite cooperate with that was too damn funny. Loved it.
I loved it too. But I get added. Like, I think if when done right, I think it could add some stuff to presentation wise. Obviously,
he's not the first person to say this. The bisexual blue mood lights of 2022. You remember those?
Yeah.
Also in a gutsy move, Brett played the
Here we
Mets
go.
win over the Dodgers in the UCC. Just wanted to say that was totally East Coast. Yes, just repositioned the lights and modified the correct. Yeah, it looked it was less 4K and it looked more like 5K. Like, you know what I mean? Like the light, whatever it is, like 5K light versus 4K light has a little more of a yellow. Anyway, by the way, Ash, we love you. Thank you so much. You've been doing awesome. What a huge upgrade. I went back and watched some old shows. It is so nice to have a show where the audio matches the video. So, it was a 420 special. Yeah. Oh, dude, I loved it so much. That was such a cool touch. We had such a freaking laugh over it. That's right. The TVs also have the logo on them.
What was the last note you just had up there?
Great question. Let me go look real quick.
Yeah,
I just put in a gutsy move. Brett
go.
played the Mets win over the Dodgers in the UCC. I just put that was so East Coast and I loved it.
Not just one time. He did it multiple times. And I was like, yeah, as you said, gutsy was the right word. I saw, like, I heard the clip because I was right underneath the TV too. I heard the clip and I was like, Brett was sitting behind me. I was just sitting on the stage and like, I was like, is he playing the Mets clip? I saw it. And then I just turned and looked at him and the shit eating grin he had as everyone saying, fuck the Mets, fuck the Mets. Like, I was really hoping they'd open the show with a fuck the Mets chance. That's how bad it was right before this. Because he did it right before the show started, like leading into the countdown to the Fight TV stuff or Triller TV. Like he played it. But yeah, he was pretty brave for doing that 2 times during the show.
Oh my goodness.
The garbage riot you want to see in the world, B.
You want to see in the world? That's right.
I didn't have nothing at the end. I didn't want to throw nothing at Miedo. Miedo would have been the only time I would have thrown nothing, not the 15 other times they did beforehand. But we'll get to that later. Yeah, it was someone asked about the scramble match. So it was funny. You were talking about that scramble should have been like a dark opening match. So yes. Before this show, they did have a very similar dark opening scramble. It was pretty good. Jordan Cruz won. He was kind of, and Braden Toon was in there. I was kept Braden Toon on the show, man. I was happy to see, like, I'm happy to see him, but he was just on the pre-show. And I don't think the pre-show happened on YouTube. Like, that's something, like, the one thing we've said we would love to see a pre-show, but like on YouTube, so you could see the sound, hear the sound, see the lights, and take the feedback at that time and quickly fix it before the show. But the dark match was pretty good. It got the crowd hyped. There's some names I did not know. Some other familiar names are off the top of my head, or I'm losing it. But the big ones was Braden Toon and Jordan Cruz off the top of my head. And it was pretty good. It did get the crowd hyped, that's for sure.
For the bigger shows, I would love to see a 10-15 minute dark match on YouTube just to run up, because again, unless you have Triller, do you know? So it doesn't hurt to, you know, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it. So that's another thing I'd love to see GCW work on overall, is maybe just having a small 15 minutes something before, just a taster, and, you know, let the kids, you know, rip the roof off the place.
Yeah, Vipers was in
the scramble. It, man. You ready to rock and roll? Rock and roll on this. Let's see. In the scramble, which was surprising. She was announced.
I couldn't think off the top of my head, man. That was a long day driving in and everything.
Vipers has been kicking ass. Like to see her. She's doing good.
Yeah, she actually did it real good. I remembered in the scramble she was real good with Jordan. Like, she had really good spots with Jordan. All right, our first match was a tag team match as a team of Effie and Manders go against the Wolf Zaddies.
This is my kind of opener. This was a heavyweight opener. Think mid 90s WCW tag team kind of opener, and you'll understand the vibe. We've seen Wolf Zaddies a few times in LA, a dominant team of big men. Effie and Manders is also a very beefy team. I'm thinking maybe they could go as team meat or maybe man meat since we have Manders. But Manders Tights was getting caught on a broken door, and we got an accidental Manders ass crack live on Triller TV. But that's not the only smile we seen that night. Effie was doing a good. You pointed it at me and threw me off there. I'll just go ahead into our winner. Our winner. No, it was fantastic timing. Our winner here was Effie and Manders. What did you think about this match here? 11 minutes long.
I kind of agree with you, the Wolf stuff, but they couldn't do it because or not the Wolf stuff. You said the team meet. I forgot. Yes. Jordan Castle, I think, was on commentary. And like one of the moves was like something meat. He said he was going to change the meat. I forgot. Damn it, I'm losing my mind because I was laughing. I'm laughing going back to because I almost forgot. Yeah, Tito coming out and going right to Big Papa Pump right in front of me was fucking hysterical. Tito just is growing on me all the time. Every time I see it, I'm glad to see the success he's reaching at the levels that he's at right now. It's been awesome to see. The Wolf Zaddies are out, like they have to be LA. Like I would love to see them travel, but they are LA staples when they go. They always kill it. The entrance theme, I love the entrance theme to it. But who sings that? Is it ICP? Is somebody say ICP or somebody else? Like, were you telling me about who's
for the Wolf Zaddies?
Yeah, I remember
the Wolf Zaddies come out to. I think they come out to the Three Little Pigs by Green Jelly or Green Jello was the name of the band.
Okay.
Jelly, it's like from the 90s, like claymation Jelly Roll. Hey, no kidding. When I first started doing stuff, I was Jelly Roll, and then I'm like, I'm not the famous singer. So
when I first met you, you were Jelly Roll.
That's right. And a lot of people for a while were calling me Jelly, and I'm like, I can't do that because there's a guy out there who's doing Jelly Roll way better.
And who would have thought 2 years later, boom, that like he blew up to the way he did.
Like when he started blowing up, I changed it because I'm like, he's just making it happen. I can't argue with a guy with millions of views. You know what I mean? So after this match, Effie cuts a promo.
I didn't even get into this.
I was jumping. I was jumping.
No,
okay.
I went one line in there and I got off track. Yeah, I agree with you though. I loved this style of matchup to open it in LA. It was a hard hitting matchup. Effie. Oh, okay. I guess you're gonna. Okay, I guess I am done with it. Then I had one line. My rest is Effie's promo. So there we go. Let's go on to it.
Yeah, so after this match, Effie cuts a promo. Says he expects his friends to finish shit they start and tells Effie basically, bring it on.
Well, you think he was? I kind of was wondering if he was teasing the Manders turn on him or someone else turn on him. Like it was an interesting wording promo that he used, and I was kind of wondering if some foreshadowing was going to happen there.
I hope so. He's a smart guy. If anybody's going to wrap it up into a promo, I think that'd be him for sure.
I liked it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I didn't hear anything, but maybe I wasn't paying attention close enough to hear the, like if there was any double entendre in there or anything, like alliteration.
Yeah. Like, when he called him Steve, it was like, Steve, are you going to stab me in my back next? Like,
oh yeah.
Manager's like, no, I'm good. I think I mentioned this earlier. I kind of hope this does lead to Hammerstein. Like Ali and Effie need that moment at Hammerstein, and I'm hoping no one else gets involved with it. They could tell their own story, as we kind of said. We think the fighting of the sisters is going to be an interesting story being told, and I kind of hope they tell it in their fun ways that they have at their disposal, if that makes any kind of sense. Like Effie using Twitch and using social media. Ali with that video was really cool, like because Ali does really, really good, especially when she gets like the stuff that she did for Hammerstein with John Carlo. Like John Carlo was awesome. He did a lot of cool stuff.
Yes, he was.
Oh yeah, he's like I miss him all the time. But I want to see Ali start doing some of this stuff, and like Effie like start using social media and promoting it. And I love them going back and forth over it. Doing like different promotional stuff, even for different stuffs. They're bleeding into this GCW storyline. Damn, yeah, I guess I should have been an Effie stream. It sounds like I enjoyed it.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah.
He's working over there, this, and she don't need this, and I don't need her. And it was good. He was over there working while he was playing Nintendo, man. I definitely recommend checking out Effie's Twitch stream. It's a lot of fun.
I gotta go back and watch it. I don't know if he archives them or not. I gotta check it.
I honestly don't think he does. Most times though, he's watching independent wrestling. So I mean, it's like he'll just put on wrestling in the background and talk. So yeah, if anybody has a chance to, definitely check that out if you haven't already. A lot of our listeners overlap with his, just because I mean we're big Effie fans. Effie's, we all kind of play into each other. Yeah. So there's the other thing. I wonder, is he going to be the heel? Now that's coming out there. That's wild out there, because I know Reed likes to throw stuff out there like that. It is possible that they could do a turn mid-story.
Matt.
Austin
Brett.
Yeah, like they could turn a story where we find out, oh shit, we were backing the wrong horse. Effie was the asshole this whole time. That would be
way this story
fucking
ends.
chef's kiss. Kiss would be, we find out that the hero's really the bad guy. Oh, I gotta get a hold of him later on that one. That would be a good one to talk about. Yeah, I think that's all I had to say about that one. I didn't know if you had anything else.
No, I think I said it earlier when and possibly last week too. I just hope they get the spotlight match and not. I hope Joey gets that other name and not one of these two. All right, our next match of the evening was the aforementioned Jack Evans going against Sydney Akeem. Yeah, see, I thought this match happened like last week, or it happened days ago. Like I started saying a point earlier. I'm like, wait, when did that match happen? Let me be quiet. Maybe it's later on.
I wrote here sorry. We have this kind of vibe tonight, don't we? Where we're kind of, this is rare. We're back to that old style kind of. All right.
I think we got a lot on our minds right now of stuff, and that's why. hint, viewers,
guys.
I guess we'll tease some stuff now. Viewers, stay tuned. We have a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. Some cool news and information we will release when we can, but stay tuned because we do have a lot of stuff coming your way, and I think a lot of our fans, especially that are here week in and week out, will be excited for over the next couple of weeks and months.
We'll get this figured out. Okay. Did you announce the Sydney Akeem Jack Evans match? Okay, so sorry there. Again, yeah, there's a lot going on. I'm recovering from illness. We've got all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Like I said, we locked in Gringo for next Tuesday, so it's just this here was the athletic match that we expected, a must-watch match for GCW fans. Jack Evans and Cartwheel need to meet up if they haven't in the last who knows how long. I didn't check the history on that one. Sydney has one of the best topes in the game. I'll stick to that. I literally call it a missile tope when he launches. Our winner here was Sydney Akeem. This was almost a 13-minute match. I wrote here that fans rushed to the ring to pound the mat. Great job by both men. Excellent storytelling in this one. And I put here that they used all 13 minutes wisely.
Yeah. I kind of have similar notes on Jack Evans from the night before, so I'll try to skip that. But he just looks happy to be there, and this was another perfect kind of stylistic fit for Sydney. I'm going to get to Great One's point here in a minute because I kind of made a mention earlier about it, but that's a good talking point. They both connected well. They clicked well. I think the LA crowd was fed right into them. They were both unique, and I wrote here, so kind of going into, I guess I'll go into it now. If you're not going to do nothing with Sydney, and if we're going to have Jack Evans here, I wanted to see Jack Evans and Sydney kind of have a fun little tag team that kind of just they remind me like they could be Paul London and Brian Kendrick. Like they could just, their speed, their movesets, their uniqueness could create a vibe that they create. And for me, they blew my mind in tag team wrestling. Like I forgot their tag team name, but like they're seeing them on SmackDown every week. They were the focal point of why I tuned into SmackDown. And I think Evans and Akeem as a tag team would do a lot of cool shit together that would kind of have a similar vibe. And the team I want to see them against is Desperados, because Gringo and Arez and their uniqueness against Jack Evans and Sydney, like that just has fireworks written all over it. But I agree with Great One here. If you're not going to do anything with Sydney and like some of these other people are saying, I would love to see them in a tag team that could do fun stuff and challenge Violence is Forever.
Put him with Mr. Danger. Sydney Akeem and Mr. Danger.
I was a trios I had. I had Akeem, Danger, and Jack Evans. Like they would just be flying all over the building, and it's like that's what Hammerstein kind of needs. Like I think I said Hammerstein I want this Hammerstein show to be an old Ring of Honor show that can somehow display what GCW does with the violence. I think that's going to be the big issue. That was the issue the first time. But I think if they create cool, memorable moments at Hammerstein with talents that could do cool, crazy, unique things that no one else could do, is a good sign for success. The ending was nuts. That double backflip after Jack Evans flipped into the ring was crazy. Emma on commentary for this match was spot on because of all the crazy shit they did, and hearing him lose his mind and trying to name all the moves that they were doing was fucking hysterical. And once again, the crowd was electric, and I think the crowd that's something I wrote kind of all night. The crowd was just on fire, and the ending was explosive. I popped big time on the crowd and how loud they came across.
I wanted to put this up and I accidentally put up while you were talking.
Very good, man.
Right here. This is where Evans and Cartwheel did meet up at one point. So
check it out for sure.
Yeah. And good job, Reed, on digging that up real quick for us.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. See, that's another one you could throw in there. Like if you're not going to use them and challenge them, put them in stories, I think if they're just in that kind of mid-league level, let them do some cool stuff in scrambles with Extreme Belt and tag teams and showcase them in different ways. That's not just a one-on-one match. All right. Next match was a tag team match, as it was the Garbage Daddies going against the debuting C4.
And you are correct. This was C4's GCW debut. They are two-time Prestige Tag Champions and current Defy Tag Team Champions, 95 days and running. This matchup could feed into a second match down the road during the two-day event with GCW, Prestige, and Defy if they play their cards correctly here. Now, Cole went kind of crazy towards the end, and we're seeing this lately. A much stronger Cole, a much more motivated Cole. He basically took on both members of C4 at the same time towards the end of this match. Cole's stunner off the ropes showed me the bottom rope was too loose in this match, or in this at this show. We need someone like Gringo to check these ropes before we let in fans, because this is I know it sounds dumb, but it feels like we've been plagued the last couple months with loose ropes. And I feel like if one person would have just went out there and went, this ain't right, guys, grab the fucking wrench, tighten it up. But I saw it here because it almost compromised one of Ratty's moves. So our winners here were the Garbage Daddies 9-minute match. I put that let's hope this is the slow climb to domination of the tag team division. And I also wrote here, it was obvious Garbage Daddies are back in full force. Well, I got bit by the mute bug.
Damn it. I was too busy reading what Great One said there. Yeah, C4 was impressive. C4, they got a really good reaction. They were really good in the ring. I think after this one, they should be regular West Coast regulars easily. Cole and Alec gel weld again. Alec was really hyped up in this one. He was all over the place. I know you said that Cole at the end, I felt Alec was in the ring the first 90% of the match and just doing everything. Yeah. Even late, there seemed to be a point where they did tag in, and then some shit happened, and then they forgot who was the legal man there, and so Alec just stayed in, even though it should have been Cole. Then that made Alec even stay in farther, where Alec and Cody kind of started off the match for the first bit of time. But yeah, Alec seemed really on one. He was really hyped up, and I feel like right now he kind of is showing out because Cole has the brass ring there, and he kind of doesn't want to be outshined and stuff. So I kind of came up with a cool booking thing here. But I don't want to harp on and whatever, but I think
let's hear it. Let's hear it. What do you got?
I'll make it quick then.
Yeah.
I think because they both have been kind of showing out and trying to impress like the crowds and Brett and everyone else, like whatever storyline wise. Like I think they're both trying to show that they're young talent. But Alec Price has had more ring time. I think he starts to kind of take all the brunt work and do all the in-ring work, and then kind of Cole does the making the promos, but talking about how he's the owner of the brass ring and kind of teasing that he's going to do it for a singles match. Which leads to kind of frictions. Alec, they keep on winning, but Alec is the one who kind of shines throughout the match. Cole sneaks in and gets the victories. And then Alec challenges Cole for the brass ring, since if you're not going to use it for our team, let challenge me for it. Let me use it if you're not going to use it. And that leads to a match where Alec is kind of acting heelish, and then Violence is Forever comes out. They kind of make a statement, say no team's good, and then Cole kind of comes out and they tease like the breakup, but they gotta stay together. So I don't know. I just want I think what am I ultimately trying to say? Because before I've said I like to see Cole or Price turn on Cole and be the heel. I can now see Cole being the heelish one and having Cole go over or Price as a baby face. I just think they need, if they're not going to do something with this brass ring at the moment and it's just kind of sitting there and everything else is going on, if you're not going to use it for the tag titles and elevate both of them and let them go on a cool run, start teasing some stuff and friction between the two for that ring and start doing some stuff with it. But I ultimately want to see them go after the tag titles and be the tag team champions. But I don't know what the plan is here with this brass ring. And I know Cole just came back from injury, but it seems like since he's won it, there hasn't been really, and there's no opportunity for him to kind of use it either. So I'm just interested and have a lot of cool stuff. And I think a lot of cool stuff Cole can do with this brass ring.
I have this right here. I'll actually put that into what I think will happen. I think the Garbage Daddies are going to go right into Hammerstein and take it. It could be by surprise. It could be announced. I don't mind either way. And then I want to see a lengthy run. And then after that, I could see Alec turning on Cole. And it's just heat. So,
yeah, and I didn't even think about this. Yeah, they're kind of doing the same thing. I didn't put two and two together.
Plus they're in such a feel good mode. Like that couple hasn't had a chance to get married yet. So I do kind of want to see those two get married, have a good tag team thing, and then break them off. You know what I mean? Like,
I ultimately want that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I had to say about that one. I don't know if you had anything else.
Nope. C4 is impressive. Please come back and please bring them back because they were awesome. Next match was Megan Bain versus a returning Juicy Finau.
So we're actually really happy to see Juicy back. My wife brings like cookies and stuff sometimes, and we always find Juicy because Juicy loves them. So we hope to kind of see him back in November or in December in LA. So looking forward to it. But yeah, Juicy's back. Last seen at the Punjabi prison match at the Joey Janela's clusterfuck. He has lost weight. I think he looks really good. Also, I think he had a baby not that long ago. Congratulations to him for that. I'm hoping that might be where his new lease on life is. Juicy didn't budge a few times. I noticed that Megan was just bouncing off of him. Got good heat from the fans. It was just pure physics at play. It came across maybe a tag team of Stackhouse and Juicy together, like two big, huge men, but they're agile. Like we're talking something that I don't think we've seen in wrestling.
Natural Disasters 2024 version.
Jeez. Well, yeah, just
and so I was thinking like how Juicy agile both of them are.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're so damn deadly that it's like they create something that I don't think anybody else can create.
Oh, do you imagine the 450 splashes they could do together at the same time?
Oof. Double. Oh my God. Double 450s.
See, I think Juicy is like Sam, where you could command a crowd and like get the crowd behind you, like how Sam does everywhere he goes. Juicy's we've seen Juicy do that too. So yeah, that would be a fun tag team.
Oh man,
I like that name. Juicy. I don't know if you said the name yet. Did you say the name?
Yeah, no? Juicy House. Juicy House. Like Juicy House. But yeah, this match was really booked to showcase Megan's uphill climb in this situation. What we had here was primarily, I'll just go into the spots. Bane had a missile tope onto Juicy. I think most people had seen clips on that online. Both flew 20 plus feet. Juicy put, that's the way to catch somebody when they're flying through the air. Yep. Bane then Hogan and Andre style body slams Juicy. She gets about that much of him too, is what Hogan got.
That was like looked like almost like a perfect like replication of it.
Yeah, I mean the goods and the bads of it. She got just the same amount, but it got over. It did its thing. You can see Juicy had her knee there, like on her leg, and pushed himself over real good. Hits the spear, covers for 3. Our winner was Megan Bane. Again, fans run up to pound the ring. This match delivered. What were your thoughts here?
In 8 minutes, it delivered. So my thing was nice to see Juicy back in UCC and back in GCW. I hope this kind of becomes a thing. Hopefully Juicy's back for good. I am a big fan of Juicy. I love his attitude and what he does and brings to the ring as a heel and as a good guy. Against Bane, I thought this was an interesting matchup. I was very interested to see. Like, I kind of knew they were kind of going to showcase Bane's strength and stuff, but last time I used this, it got me in trouble. I was not expecting this kind of match. Like, the crowd was so into it, it over delivered. Like, in an 8-minute match, the crowd was up there pounding the mat like it was a 30-minute speedball Vikingo match. Like, it was super well played. Juicy played his role as a heel and got Megan over. Megan stepped up to the plate and delivered the cool slam, the spots like she always does. Like, she just delivers no matter the opponent. She's been on a roll since she's been here, and I'm glad that she keeps on doing it. And this match, like, I expected a fun match and maybe some fuckery to happen, but not a solid, like, there was no interference or nothing. This was a solid 8-minute match, and that crowd was hyped into it and behind Megan the entire way. And I loved it, man. It was good. Like I said, like, I left happy for both of them because the crowd was into it for sure.
And I want to put this up here too. Yeah, I was really worried about that guy for a while.
Yeah.
Juicy was in the hospital. Okay, so I don't know how many knew what was going on there, but yeah, he's like, look, I'm coming back. And then a couple weeks later, he's unable to make the booking and he's back in the hospital again. And I felt for the guy. You always worry with big guys like that. So, hopefully he's on the right path at this time. But yeah, for a while there, especially through Christmas and whatnot, it was really scary. And, my family really likes him a lot. So, we put a little extra love behind him when we find out something's happening with one of the people we really like. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. I was happy to see him back too. Next match was a tag team match as Richard Holiday and Pero go against Dark Sheik and Brooke Havoc.
So I'm wondering, should Sheik and Havoc maybe create a new team at GCW?
My Chemical Romance. Jordan Castle called it. I loved it. I agreed. I thought the same thing. That's a tag team. I'm in.
I like that. Actually, I like that a lot. Also, West Coast home territory for those two. They're really killing it out here. You got Hood Slam doing its thing. I was wondering in this match, will there be advancement in the Mason story? Funny thing, there really wasn't here. I was laughing at Pero. He pie-faced Brooke, and it primarily launched her across the ring. Holiday spit in Havoc's eye and rolled him up for the win. So yeah, our winner here, Pero and Richard Holiday. I wrote here that Holiday and Pero got heat, but not more than they already had. People were throwing stuff. I hope they kind of save that for more important times. So we've talked about that before, just because if you want to create a moment, it has to be, and
it came back to backfire this night. I was pissed at the end of this night.
Why is that?
Because you said they wasted it. Like, there could have been all that shit was thrown during this match, during Jimmy, during this. Like, save that for fucking the end, like I was hoping for. Like, I was actually disappointed. Like, and when I saw the stuff, I'm like, come on, save that to hopefully at the end. Like, if I don't get what I want at the end, then just throw shit in the ring anyway at the end. But save it for the end, like when there's a moment. Because for me, I think it took away the moment at the end. Like, and like how hyped I was for that moment.
I feel like people are going to take videos of the fans throwing shit in LA, and I think it's going to look bad on us overall as a company. They're going to be like, look at these guys. They're the ones who throw trash every other match. We're going to be the trash company. I don't want that either. And again, I sound like the old guy here. But I'm just being fair that there are going to be people who are already naysayers that are going to look at that and be like, yeah, do you really want to sit front row while shit's flying over your face, your head, because somebody doesn't like a storyline 4 rows back?
I immediately texted you. I'm like, this is the shit that I hope doesn't drive like Chris Bay away and Scorpio Skies away in the world when they have to sit there and go in and wrestle in the ring with that shit. And they're like, that one during the Jimmy one. That's why I was like, I hope Bay don't take this like negative, or anybody does, because like that, like as you said, I think it does kind of give us a bad name too. Like there are spots for it. There always a spot at the end of the night for it. Doesn't need to be during, like, just, I hate Richard Holiday too. I didn't want to throw shit in. I walked away. I went to the merch table during his match.
It's also overreactive. Let's be honest. Every time you hear something you don't want, you're going to throw shit in the ring and then someone has to clean it up. It's a little lowbrow. And yeah, and we have to get a hold of maybe dealing with some of that now before that just becomes the norm, because it's becoming the norm. What was that? 3 matches now shit's thrown. So like I said, it was, well, someone threw something here one show.
There was 3 matches.
Yeah. And then the next match, someone throws something here. And then the next match, someone threw something on 3 matches. And then who knows what's going to happen at the next LA show. So, I mean, yeah, somebody might have to set a precedent there, because at some point that just becomes trashy. Literally. It just becomes trashy. Hey, let's go to the, show. Like, I really want to have a $60 shirt on so that some asshole can stain it 4 rows back because he wants to throw a beer at a storyline at physical theater. Like, he's upset over physical theater. It's like, come on, guys, get it together. I mean, if you're mad, go home and scream into a pillow or 2. Yeah. Anyway,
I was disappointed at the end because it could have been a lot more shit at the end that was wasted multiple times earlier for no reason. For me, I wrote this match other than I love the Chemical Romance team name. I want better for Pero. Pero should be a dominant monster, not treated like a lackey. I'm tired of Holiday, and yeah, Havoc and Sheik were as someone said, they as a tag team, they got legs. They were really good, and they were super over. Obviously in LA because of the Hood Slam stuff and everything, but they connected well with the audience. And as you said, like another tag team that kind of makes sense, and wouldn't mind seeing move forward.
Reed has a good point here. Why are you wearing a $60 shirt to wrestling? Because they charge extra when you're 3XL. No. But good point. Yeah. Okay, common sense, guys. Common sense should have kicked in for me there. But yeah, normally I wear one of my homemade tie-dye shirts. It costs me $10 plus dye, or I'll wear a GCW shirt that I get through Patreon or whatever. So no, I'm not getting fancy when I go there by all means, but I could see where someone who has something nice on may not be too thrilled.
Yeah,
I'm such a cranky old bastard at this age. That was all I had to say about this one. I didn't know if you had anything else.
I'll answer Kev's question. The dude wasn't just shirtless; he was pantless too. that answers that question. During the Jimmy incident, during the Jimmy Lloyd one, that's when that guy got kicked out. Yeah, he was pantless as well. All right, our next matchup, letting right into that one, streak right into that one, as Mr. Danger, oh my goodness, goes against Jack Cartwheel.
So I wrote here that Mr. Danger has definitely earned a spot on the current rotating GCW roster. I put Jack Cartwheel is due for a win. Looks great in white fur. I appreciated Prazak mentioning Mr. Perfect. This is what I was talking about earlier, as Mr. Danger likes using the perfect plex. Both have come far between Danger and Cartwheel. This match would have looked way differently 1 year ago. It was highly competitive. I think it was a well-spent 9 minutes here. Jack Cartwheel picked up a very rare win, but I put here in this one, Jack won, but both were permanently elevated. And I just wanted to mention a couple got engaged. So good for them. Congratulations. What did you have to think about this Danger and Cartwheel match?
Yeah, it was fun. Those two stylistically, I was a little worried because Danger's still in singles matches. I know he's like one of the holy shit spot kind of moments, and Jack Cartwheel, like while like we've seen the growth and stuff, I was wondering with someone like the talent of Mr. Danger, this is going to show the growth of Cartwheel to kind of carry a match and lead Mr. Danger through it. And yeah, they both delivered. Danger and Cartwheel, they kind of gelled perfectly. They just unexpected flying out of the rings and and keeping the crowd on their toes. The crowd is super into Jack too. Like Jack definitely has LA, and so does Danger. Like the Danger LA crowd is really behind Mr. Danger, and the crowd, like I said, this is a common folk. Like the crowd carried the night. I think the crowd elevated the show. While it might not have been as loud as I normally have heard, like the UCC Center, they were into the match, and every single time, like every match had a chance, and like they were into it and excited. And that I was happy to see that they kept the audience attention throughout the entire night to keep them that hot. And this match was a good one where both dueling chants were just going the entire time.
I'll leave it there. I think that was really well done.
Yeah, then the couple getting engaged at the end was kind of cool. I think that Jack Cartwheel being a part of that was cool to see. All right. Oh, here we go. Our next match was a tag team match as Los Desperados go against the team of Fly Forever, which was Spider-Fly and Epidemius Jr.
Yeah, that's a rough one to say. Luckily, we've had practice saying Epidemius Jr. a couple times before. This wasn't his first time at GCW, but this was our Lucha showcase. Exciting stuff. I'm going to keep it short here. Excellent, mature Lucha match. Great tension. They could have used a storyline. They had that level of a match. So if there was a storyline attached to it or a championship, it would have delivered. A nice spot. Ares unexpectedly hits a Styles clash. We had Fight Forever chants in this match. Our winners here at 17 minutes long was Los Desperados. I'm going to stop right now before I go further. What were your thoughts on this Lucha showcase?
Match of the night. Oh, well, okay, hold on. I want to get just because of the main event not having like a conclusion, like that saved me. But I think like in ring, this was incredible. Like every time Gringo Rez the Lucha hits the LA crowd, that's what I was kind of been feeling. The LA shows have been missing a little bit more is the big spotlight Lucha matches, but this one.
I think it was Fly Forever.
It was.
Which one?
I heard
Which
it
one
Fight
was
Forever. I heard Fight Forever,
Okay,
but I could be not fully paying attention. But because the only reason I say that because I didn't even catch the names. I saw the names on the flyer and on social media, but I don't remember Epidemius Jr. off the top of my head. Spider-Fly was a new name, so this was kind of felt like a new team to me, and I was wondering what they would do. And they kind of first started off like you could tell they were trying to find their rhythm and timing, but right away Gringo and Arez snapped it into them, and then when they clicked, they all clicked on all cylinders. That they were a young, great lucha tag team, but Arez and Gringo, strap them up. Tag team champions. That's it for me. They are so innovative, creative, and can do different kind of stuff. Not just lucha stuff, but outside of put them in a tag team match against someone like that's more traditional, and they just always have classic and entertaining and fresh tag team matches no matter the opponent. And I think that's right now what I want to see coming from my tag team champions. And Rez and Gringo, this like they dominated this match just with their crowd and how well they control the LA and the lucha stuff, and this was amazing. I loved this was my match. Like I actually I don't know. The main event was good too, though.
I just wrote here that the fans went nuts. There was money raining from the skies. This is a must see. And just going off to the side here for a second, as let me get my microphone. As someone who kind of pays attention to speech and commentary, I was noticing Dave Prazak's stance when he was doing commentary tonight. And that really evokes emotion. Like that is a great way, I think, that people should do commentary because it keeps you on your toes and whatnot, right? I don't know if he was getting a good view or if he was just doing that to stand, or maybe he just, wanted to stand for a while, but very cool to see someone do commentary standing. I love it. I feel like people are more on their toes and they sound better when they're on their feet.
For me, it was Emil. I loved Emil.
Yes.
With these lucha matches, he just loses his mind, and like I love hearing his just enthusiasm and enjoyment as a fan coming on commentary. And yeah, when I got home and watched it, that was the one takeaway I wanted to take mention, because MLJ was a commentary was on fire on that. Prazak just was spot on. He was perfect in the Hammerstein video, perfect promoting Hammerstein. He was really good on commentary all weekend, as he always is. But I wanted to almost, I did have a chance to talk with him beforehand, but I didn't want to go up to him. He had his headphones on. It looked like he was in the zone preparing. So I let him be, but he's so awesome. And I think I was underappreciative of what he actually has done throughout his career when he first joined up in GCW. But having him here now is always a treat, and commentary was spot on all weekend. Right, our next matchup was Chris Bay versus Broski Jimmy.
All right, here we go with a quick 6-minute, almost 7-minute match. Broski asked the crowd to not throw trash. They throw trash. Jimmy says Bullet Club died 10 years ago and the Dodgers are trash. West Coast local Chris Bay answers the call. Last seen February 4th at Feel No Ways in Mesa, Arizona, down there with our friends at the Nile Theater. I've watched some old matches recently. I'm actually ready for the next evolution of Broski Jimmy. His wrestling is also way better than it was from a couple years ago by far. But I'm wondering maybe, and I don't want to touch on it too long, but maybe it's time for him to get another mentor going forward. Do you think it would be fun or funny if he has to take on another mentor?
I want to see Jimmy fucking Lloyd back in the white pants and the white shirt and by himself doing the deathmatch stuff. That's what I want. I don't want another mentor. I think you're allergic to the thought of another mentor as well.
I'm still recovering. I'm still recovering from illness, man.
Oof. Yeah. I don't know. Like for me, no, I don't need. I think he learned a lot and grew a lot with Cardona. Where now we kind of like see the plateau. Like I think now it's time for him to showcase what he did learn and do it on his own, and elevate his own character on his own feet, on his standing on his own 2 feet.
Yeah, I do not. And then okay, there. So let me see if there was.
Sorry.
No. I was just seeing if there was anything else. I just thought it was funny that Jordan Castle was pressing Prazak for legal advice since we saw the Hammerstein opener because he's a lawyer.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for me, this match was just, it was nice to have Bay back. Like I said, I kind of felt bad, and like the match was only like 7 minutes, and he had to wrestle with fucking reused beer and shit in the ring. Like, I felt so bad.
Yeah,
I'm a huge Chris Bay fan. I've been since before he even got signed by Impact. Like when this local stuff he was doing has been awesome. So I was kind of disappointed for him at that point. That's when I DM'd you. I'm like, this is the kind of shit that I hope doesn't detract others from coming to GCW, because this is the stuff that makes us look bad. Like you do it at the main event. That's the end of the show. The wrestlers don't care, but like a wrestler hears about this happening match 3, 4, and then they got to follow it. They're not going to want to come down too often. So, Noah Bay got a kick out of it. Actually, yeah. So I did, like, he was in the when he came back, like I heard a couple of comments and stuff. But yeah, he actually, you could tell that during his entrance, he was kind of like enjoying the GCW vibe with this. So that's the kind of people I want in GCW. So I'm glad that he didn't hold that against us. All right, our next matchup was a Starboy Charlie going against Scorpio Sky.
Yeah, this was a wild one here. The debut for Scorpio Sky, 41 years old, 22 years in-ring career, currently with AEW. A 24-time champion, most recently the 2-time AEW TNT champion, 70 days running. He's participated in 33 tournaments, being a semifinalist for 18 of those, won 5 of them. Some wrestlers I wrote here are better in smaller doses, like having a regional wrestler on the show. I felt that Starboy Charlie's one of those wrestlers to me, and it makes it more enjoyable when I do see him because I miss him a little. This was more of a boots to the ground AEW Dynamite top of the hour style match, classic grappling. I hope there'd be more high flying. Perfectly fine that there wasn't, very good wrestling, no weapons, no blood, pure competition. Starboy Charlie has really stepped up as a wrestler and much maturity since the last time we'd seen him. I felt like this was a treat for the fans, an interesting choice with Starboy, but yeah, he stepped up, delivered 100%. I 100% didn't believe in this matchup, and now I have to admit that I was definitely wrong.
You were spot on the everything you just said about Starboy Charlie. His confidence shined throughout this whole match. Like when he was able to do that reversal spot and end up and sitting on top of him, like and just smoothly, like yeah, he was flowing with he was feeling himself in this matchup, and I'm glad. Like it felt like an old school GCW show. We had Juicy, we got Starboy. I was happy to see Starboy back too. It has feel like it's been a minute. For me though, other than Scorpio or other than Starboy, like he showed how much he has grown. Like he in ring to have this kind of matchup, and I actually thought it was longer than 12 minutes. This one felt like a longer 15, 17-minute kind of main event style matchup. And as you said, a TV style long matchup that's multiple segments. That's what this match felt. And Starboy was just fluid and solid throughout it. Scorpio, I love.
Yep.
Enjoyed. It seemed like he enjoyed his time. He enjoyed the crowd. He enjoyed what Starboy did. He saw the confidence, and he put Starboy over. This are the legends that I want to see come to GCW and work for GCW. They want to help elevate our talent, elevate the product, not just come in and use us as a warm-up. Like this might be the last time we see Scorpio. It might be a warm-up, and that's fine, but he at least did a lot more in his time to elevate our talent in his short time in the company. But I just immediately thought too, we had Frankie Kazarian at one of the recent LA shows. Now with Scorpio, I wouldn't mind seeing like a SCU reunion kind of happen and have them have a little tag match against Violence is Forever, one of these other tag teams, because Scorpio was really good in the ring. I enjoyed his in-ring work. He was snappy, he was fluid, and like, why is he not on TV right now? I've always felt like that when I first saw him in Ring of Honor, even though that's later in his career too. I'm like, why is he here? He should be in bigger spots at this point in his career. And like, I just think he's so slept on. And like this weekend, like for me, Jack Evans, Scorpio Sky, I want to see them. They fit in GCW. I want to see them in GCW more because they seem like they're here to promote, enjoy the vibe, promote the company, help the wrestlers, and showcase them. But he looked really, really good in the ring. I was thrilled to see that because I was kind of like on the fence on this match. I'm like, oh, okay, we brought in a name that hasn't wrestled in forever, but he showed us like how Sydney did. He's being misused and not being used correctly the right way. And if you just give him ring time, he will show you how valuable he really is.
He dazzled us. He elevated his competition. He gave us a quality match towards the top of the card. That's the kind of professional I like to see around here. You know, he just seems like one of those ones like Motor City Machine Guns type, where it's like he's more helpful than harmful in 100 different ways.
Yep. He's not here to collect a paycheck. He wants to be here. Quote that. Just kidding. Don't quote that. I had enough shit last week. Yeah. And I like this statement though, because that's what it kind of felt like the beginning of the match. It did feel like Starboy is just like kind of like was in a different class a little bit. And then Scorpio had to find his groove and find his footing because he hasn't wrestled in a while. But that was a good match. Starboy stepped it up, but Scorpio showed me just why. I don't know why he's not being used on TV. He's talented.
Absolutely.
All right. Our main event of Blood on the Hills, as we have so far not seen any blood on the hills yet, is Ciclope versus Rina Yamashita for no belt anymore. Sorry. I was about to say for the Ultra Violent belt, but I forgot Rina doesn't have it.
All right. So I put here that Rina was pumped. Maybe going away after this trip and coming back refreshed could hand her another title run down the road. I asked for Ciclope to have a championship challenge in LA. This was damn close to that and had the feeling I hoped it would have. Ciclope was showered with beautiful red, white, and green streamers signifying the colors of the Mexican flag. MLJ pumping out Ciclope's introduction in Spanish was absolutely impressive. There is now an infamous gusset spot in here. Rina gets bloodied instantly. Minutes later, the same thing happens to Ciclope. both faces here. So both good people, but they shake hands to negate any long-term heat from their actions in this match. It's hard to boo either wrestler. Now, watching this, I'm not against ringside crew helping, setting up door bridges, etc. Some matches slide to a halt while a wrestler goes outside the ring, grabs a door, slides it in, grabs 2 chairs, slides them in, unfolds the chairs, suspends the door, and now the door bridge is made 45 to 60 seconds later, and now the action can start again. I also think they should be available to possibly hand chairs, doors, weapons to the performer. If not a crew person, then make a trash can full of weapons at ringside and or stack doors and chairs and lean them up against the ring on one side for easier access. Make the process more efficient because time is precious. Now back to the match here. We got Ciclope going full La Parka. I thought that was fun to watch. We also have gusset plates to the head, broken tables, chair shots to the head, inside door bridges, outside door bridges, thumbtacks, and gussets to the naughty areas. Both wrestlers were wearing crimson masks. Emil said Rena's face is so red it looks like someone threw a tomato through a screen door. I felt that was the freaking quote of the night. Emil, great job there. We have a kiss between Rena and Ciclope, not of Rena's choosing. A couple spots here. Ciclope hit Rena's own finisher, Splash Mountain, on her, then goes to the top to hit his finisher, and Miedo comes out to interfere. He pushes him off, and he goes into this brutal beatdown. There was no winner in this one. It was considered a no contest, but I want to give them a ton of credit. This match went 25 and a half minutes. I mean, they really went at it for a long time. Again, I'll just say it ahead of you. Classic GCW death match main event. This was actually what this is it. This is what we want. This is what we wanted. This is it. I don't have a better way to put it.
This is restoring the feeling. The main events of the last 2 nights restored the feeling. I'll hop on one thing. The one negative I said of this match was, way too much time setting up the shit and building it. Even as a fan there, I'm like, oh my God, like, come on. Like, this is kind of looking bad for Ciclope's first main event in a while. And as we were talking about, this was supposed to be for the World Championship. Unfortunately, Mance Warner wasn't able to make it. Mance, whatever you had to take care of, hopefully all is well. We will see you back here. Other than that, 9.9 out of 10 out of this match for me. I loved it. Like you said, it got violent. The gusset plates were just brutal. They were just streaming blood immediately. The streamers at the beginning of the match to kind of just heighten the importance. And I love that they had that for Ciclope. I saw them passing it around and I was like, please, I hope one gets thrown my way. I want to throw a streamer too for Ciclope. Emil's face leaving the ring, like that's how you do streamers. Good job, LA.
Yeah.
I enjoyed seeing Emil getting hyped up for that. Yeah, I'm a big fan of streamers. The same thing when it's done right. Not every person needs it every single show, but like Kirk winning was a streamer moment. Ciclope, this was a streamer moment. Drew Parker coming back, it was another recent streamer moment. Like I was happy to see that. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, that might be a good call on Rena, that she might be going back home for a little bit. I didn't catch that. Maybe she is. Were you saying that definitively or just like asking or like suggesting?
I am just suggesting that she takes these couple dates she has left, goes home and comes back a hero and tries to take a second run. She'll look like a hero for it.
I was about to say this match kind of felt like a goodbye for her for a little bit. She was just taking brutal, the gusset plates, the blood, the shots that she was taking. She just took a beating. And Ciclope, main event level Ciclope was awesome to see. But also main event Rena in a non-title match, just classic GCW main event was awesome. They both stepped it up. Unfortunately for me, I didn't get to see Ciclope go for the belt, but goddamn if I didn't ask for the end. I loved it. Miedo showing up, but why LA did you waste all those beers and buckets earlier on fucking Jimmy and the goddamn Mets and fucking Holiday? We wasted it for Holiday. It pisses me off even more. Holiday just deserves booze and turn your back on him. Don't waste your goddamn beer on him. I was so mad. I wanted more, and I can see Miedo wanted more. You see him come on, fucker, throw some more shit at me. I want it. And I gotta go to these brutal chair shots. Oh, okay. Never mind. We'll get there. I see. We didn't get to that part yet. But man, leading up to that point though, you see me in the back. I was cheering. Fuck you, Vieto. I got my moment. That was the moment I bought a ticket for. That's why I wanted to see Miedo and Ciclope start their bit or continue their feud in a big blow up way, and Miedo to get the heat to end LA. I got my wish. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, LA. Brett. The crowd was awesome. Like outside of throwing shit for Holiday and for Jimmy instead of saving it for Miedo and the damn streaker, and I got to see that shit run right by me. But yeah, it ran right by me. I was right by the curtain.
Just balls, just right going across you.
Ass cheeks, just ass cheeks, and Zubaz pants at the ankles, and with the luchador mask on, being dragged past me. That's what came by me.
Yes.
Outside of that, though, LA crowd was hot. I think they provided a lot to the show. I told you, I enjoyed the show live. I thought it was good. I thought it could have been louder. And sitting underneath the speakers, it wasn't even that loud too. Maybe I'm losing my ears. Who knows? But I felt like the crowd could have been louder. But I think it came across really good on screen than it did in person. In person, it was fun, enjoyable. It just could be me being desensitized for my 20th LA show. I thought it was a good LA show. But the main event was one of the top tier main events we haven't gotten in a little bit. But as you said, that for me was restoring the feeling. Rena, Ciclope. This is the GCW I want to see. These are the main events I want to see. And if you can't give me death matches with the damn light tubes and stuff, you provided a lot of fucking blood and craziness and just chaos what you did in LA. And that's why I was saying earlier, it gets me kind of hopeful of what they could do at Hammerstein, but obviously they're going to be limited. But just in the future in LA, they're getting creative. That was a creative main event to give the bloodthirsty fans of LA blood on the hills. And as Reed said, we had enough blood in this match for the next 3 blood on the hills, because that was incredible. And those two, you could tell they set out to make a point in this main event.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go into my next note here. Miedo takes out Rena, handcuffs his brother, and delivers heavy chair shots to the head and back. One final headshot took him out completely. The entire team of referees came out to save Ciclope. Miedo makes his exit out the front of the building, not through the usual curtain everyone enters and exits through. I felt like this gave the story a touch of being unplanned. Okay.
That's kind of why I went to the entrance too, just in case I wanted to be ran over.
If you look at the camera, there was one camera that was at the ring level that you can see Ciclope laying on the ground after the chair shots, and you can see Miedo up on the turnbuckle celebrating, right? If you watch that video carefully, someone goes to throw something at Miedo, it misses Miedo and hits Ciclope on the ground. Second or two later, something else whizzes by Miedo, hits Ciclope on the ground. I'm like, he's getting the worst of it, and he's already...
Whoever threw that first one that was spot on, hit him right in the fucking head. That was great.
Yeah, dude, that was somebody had to be proud about that one. Before I go any further, do you want to say anything else you want to say about this main event? Because I know
those chair shots, brutal. That was rough. As a fan, that was rough. They were loud. I told you yesterday. Other than Willie Mack's shots on Collective Weekend to the back that echoed throughout the UCC, headshot wise, that was sickening thuds. That was, as a fan, for me, it would turn me away. It was rough, but it needed it to be. That's Miedo Ciclope. That's the blood feud that it needs to be. So the headshots made sense, but it did make me squeamish. But it added value to, for sure, the feud. And I'm so excited to see what happens with these two. Obviously, two of my favorites, and Miedo teasing that he was leaving GCW and coming back helps me be happy, and it'd be cool to see them get a Hammerstein moment.
That's a great question right there. How do you talk management into allowing gussets? Hey, they did though. Yeah, I always thought the issue was with glass, honestly. So I wondered.
Me too. This was a great point too. This was I was happy to see Miedo get that level of heat, even though it wasn't to cost Ciclope that tried that, because that's why on the podcast I said I think that would just be a very cool visual to end the night, and I think it was a cool visual. I just wish it would have been a lot more shit being thrown in that wasn't wasted earlier.
Yeah, Brett said they don't even. I'll just put this up here real quick. Brett said they don't even like blood there. Wow.
That's crazy. They got away with a lot because that they were leaking. That was one of the bloodiest matches I've seen in UCC. Like I've seen on like not a lot, so I don't have a lot to go off of, but that was pretty brutal. And like that was good. Like that's what LA fans wanted. Like LA fans have been dying for that forever. Like, and I think you just made LA fans a lot happier to show up at the next GCW LA show, because now they're going to be expecting, hey, GCW could give me blood and they don't have to do death matches. Let's go.
Yep.
I want to get my blood still. So I'm excited for December. I'm going to get tickets now for sure.
I've 100%. I've already paid for the hotel. I'm just waiting for tickets to come out, and then I'm going to be on them also. So I'm going to go into my final little rant here. I put that this was the second show of the weekend where a gritty death match was the main event, but not just any death match, a memorable death match with memorable spots, just like the night before it. Now, both nights told stories, not just two wrestlers breaking things over each other's bodies. This is a more modern approach to deathmatch. The evolution with wrestling and storylines. It's grown up. The previous main event ran 17 minutes with a huge dive off a balcony and an artery leak out. This one goes 25 minutes with the memorable spot being Ciclope pounding that gusset plate into Rena's head and it drawing instant streams of blood down her face. My choice for video clip of the year, honestly. Deathmatch is being put on a pedestal, and rightfully so. I like Brett's decision to move deathmatch wrestling to the main event. It's obvious quality deathmatch will be of the utmost importance in the new era, and he's making that point. My recommendation, don't let up. If everything stays like this, then there's a predictability aspect to the show. If people know GCW's main event will always be one of the best death matches of the weekend, then they will tune in. You like scrambles? Watch the beginning of the show. We have the platform, and no one at the major level is doing deathmatch wrestling the way it should be done. WWE isn't doing it. AEW is barely touching it. Some mid-level companies try, but we are the waterline in the pool of deathmatch wrestling at the highest levels. Recording the best matches in the modern era is our job. GCW should be the largest pedestal for the best deathmatch wrestlers around the world. And then ask yourself, 20 years from now, will GCW be the company who has the best deathmatch wrestling tape library of this era? And if they aren't, why aren't they? They're the most capable and independent wrestling to do this. Deathmatch wrestlers should be aspiring to come here to perform and get some attention and make history. So I'll save my scramble rant for another night, but I'm just saying it goes a lot like that one. I'll just wrap it up. It was another solid night of wrestling radiating from the UCC in Los Angeles, California. And I'm happy to say I will be going back to this next one in December. I can't wait to see all the listeners and wrestlers we've interviewed that I haven't had the chance to say thank you face to face yet. That was my long-winded little thanks for holding in with me there.
I agree wholeheartedly with like that first part you were saying. Like that's like what we've came to love in GCW. That's what we got this weekend, and as you said, in the main events. And I understand why they're doing it, to hyping up NGI. I'm just kind of afraid that we don't see death matches for a little bit after NGI. That's what I'm always afraid of after these tournaments, and kind of what we saw over last year with their champion being gone. That's kind of what happened is we heat up death matches before the tournaments, and then they're gone for a few months. So I'm hoping they do, as we were saying earlier, Dr. Redacted, Orin Vite leading this wave of new GCW death matches and these styles, and as jumping off of shit, using the arena, using moves and telling stories instead of just who could take the most light shots to the head or light tubes to the head, is my style of wrestling like that. And I'll drop Alex Colon's name. Like that's why I loved Alex Colon, was he was that wrestler that did all those things that I look for in a deathmatch wrestler. And Drew Parker is one of those ones too. And I'm excited to obviously now with the announcement of Hammerstein, kind of what they're acknowledging that we fucked up the first Hammerstein. We're going to do better this time. I'm excited to see what is down the pipeline. And after this weekend, like I said, yeah, I agree with you. I'm buying LA tickets for the next one, and head down there and expecting to see a fun show, because I think these next few months leading into Hammerstein are going to be a fun series of shows.
Well, I think we did it. I'll just mention real quick again, our guest for next week will be Gringo Loco. We're going to have about an hour or so with him. And we've got some great questions lined up. I think it's going to be a really good time there. So definitely you want to be in chat for this one, because if we have a chance, we're going to try to pull some questions and get those answered for you.
Yeah, I'm excited for Gringo Loco, and especially coming up to Hammerstein. We were kind of have a little online talk about Gringo was supposed to do some crazy move at Hammerstein, and we have not yet seen it since then. I want to talk to him about that and some other stuff with Gringo Loco that kind of fits what's going on right now.
He's going to love his intro. I got his intro already written out. It'll be fun.
All right. Yeah, we did it. That's 2 minutes, 2 hours too. That's nice. I like it.
Like a nice 2 hour. Yeah. Back to basics a little bit. We back when we started, we were only supposed to do an hour, and then we just couldn't shut the fuck up. So 2 was what it was. But yeah, no, 2 hours is good. 2:10, not bad.
Yes. And everyone that's always in the chat, thank you guys again.
Yes.
Please stay highly in tune to our social media. We do have exciting news and information coming out here that is obviously going to excite us, but I think excite you guys all as fans as well. And there's exciting stuff for GCW and Game Changer Weekly and wrestling heading into the future. Right?
Yes.
See. I gotta end one last thing. Thank you again, Brett. I got my main event, LA. I got Miedo getting thrown shit at. I left a happy camper in LA. It was worth the drive, and LA was a good show. Like it always ends up on, like, I was kind of questioning it, but the vibes and the crowd always enhance the experience so much, and they did once again this weekend.
Yeah, I fear the wildness, but I wouldn't go to LA without the wildness of the crowd. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's like the crazy girlfriend thing. You're going to get the wild on the bad side and the wild on the good side. And it's like, you're just hoping it all goes well in between. But yeah, those fans, just as crazy as they are on one side, they're also really crazy just for the wrestling show and just an enjoyable group to be around on the other side. So, I've never been injured, harmed, nothing there. Nobody's ever given me any trouble, nothing. It's just people like to have their fun, and so be it.
Wife's been hit with Grim Reaper's lighter. That's about all the violence that we've had.
Well, we've had I'm about
to say, wait a minute. Yeah, wait a minute here. Hold on.
Yeah, my wife's had a chair launched at her, but not on purpose. But yeah, we've all sustained war injuries at GCW, it seems.
That picture was so perfect. I'm sorry.
I still think that's picture of the year, dude. That was fucking amazing.
Yeah, for a wrestling fan, that might be one of the best wrestling fan pictures I've ever seen, for sure.
I'm gonna have her dig that out and get it tomorrow. Maybe see if we can get it out and share it to people, because that was You don't get a picture.
Yeah.
Oh, been hit with a diver too. Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, great one. I almost got my last LA show. Bad Dude Tito, or the partner, Shaker, almost took me out. I almost got I luckily saw it. I was like, he's coming. See ya. And I just, like, literally, as you see my back, I just got almost taken out. So we all got our stories, but luckily not too bad at UCC.
Look at Reed. Got a gusset thrown at him at Texas.
My first show, I was in the 4th row and a light tube hit my hat. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Wow.
What just happened?
Yeah.
Like, hold on, I gotta be able to watch out for these light tubes. First ever GCW show. That was fun.
Well, thank you to everyone who came out to listen tonight. It's been an interesting night. We had a lot of fun. Like we said, Gringo's going to be on the next show. We really enjoyed this past weekend. We like the little peppering of classic GCW that's now coming back to us. It was also motivating to see that they remember what classic GCW was. Because that lets us know that they understand it and they can duplicate it. And it's obvious that they can, which means it's coming in full force. Just give it time. Okay, back to everything, because I was ranting. Thank you to everyone for coming in here tonight. I'm going to say that accidentally 100 times. But yeah, anything else you wanted to kind of say before we wrapped it up for the night?
No, like I said, I had goosebumps those 2 nights of, like, and leaving with a smile on my face, exciting to what they are giving to us and what hopefully we will be getting in the future.
Hell yeah. All right.
Here we go.
Long. No, I'm just kidding.
Hopping right in. Reed, great one. Frank, Biz, everyone that always hops in here. Kev.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Hold on. There's a couple of people way up at the top here. I see Dummy Feds was in here. Clown's always in here from the beginning to the end. So thank you so much for showing up. Saying hi tonight.
Wrap it up, B. Blake's like, wrap that shit up, B.
Wrap that shit up. All right. Well, love you guys. Take care. Have a great one. We appreciate everybody's support. Let's get the hell out of here, baby.
Let's make Blake happy for once. All right.
Okay. Long. Ooh, that was good. Live. Ooh.
G. You left me hanging on purpose, man.
I fucking did it on purpose. We can't do this shit, right? C.
You taught how to catch. Richard Holiday. W.
W. Have a great night, guys. Love y'all.